Hello. Okay. Should totally be live right now, I believe. Let's check on all our little streamy streams, see what comes up. Man, new new software. Working out some kinks with the new software. That's just the way it rolls. Um, it's funny if you try and go live after you say you're going to go live with this Melon Studio, then they will not allow you to do so. It's really frustrating, really, really frustrating. I never had that problem with StreamYard. So far, I would say the concessions with StreamYard are far uh, fewer than what has been available to me on Melon. Like, there's a lot of good with Melon, so I'm very happy. That's okay. How you doing, Chris? We got we got our guest waiting in the wings. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, guest. Great. Okay. We'll just give it a second. Hey, Jello, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Robbie says, I missed my Goodfellas reference about Stax being late. Yeah, Stax was always late. I'm still getting the hang of this, guys. Also, I just want to let you know, I'm going to probably say this 100 times. Welcome, Nikki. Welcome, Paul. I'm just going to say this. If you are on Facebook, I cannot see your comments. You have to come to YouTube. Facebook is like I'm waving a flag saying, hello, hello. Rue, I see Rue. I don't know why. He's not supposed to be there because, Rue, I'm only... Wait, that's so weird. Why does it show a Facebook thing? That's so bizarre. In any case, I can only see... Now I can only see YouTube messages. So please join us on YouTube. We are not looking at Facebook stuff. What's going on? Oh, Francois from Canada. How are you, buddy? By the way, thank you so much for your support. And I've shifted over things, but I just want to say, throw you some devil horns. I hope you're well. I hope the music side of things is going well. Jeff, hello. Jeff, I can't see you. Eric, what's up, man? I did. I listened to it, and we're gonna do some. I'm gonna do something with that Initium AD. Eric, go check out Eric's page. He did something called Initium AD, inspired by an Earth AD Samhain video clip thing that I had done, and he did a great job. What's up, Rue Morg? How are you? Welcome. This is the cocktail hour. This is the welcome cocktail hour for just getting ourselves up to gear. We're streaming on Periscope, Twitter. No, sorry, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. But I can only see YouTube comments, so please switch over to YouTube. Yeah, that is the truth of the situation. What else can I tell you? Hey, Wednesday, we got Wednesday from the UK. Speaking of Wednesday, did anybody hear that Jenna Ortega, who is, oh my God, this a beautiful, breathtaking Latina actress, she's in a bunch of stuff. She was in The Babysitters, the sequel to The Babysitters. She was in that show You, the Dexter sort of variation. She's going to be playing Wednesday Addams in Tim Burton's Wednesday series for Netflix. I could not be happier because I think she's a phenomenal actress. What's up, Ballad of the Broken? She's a phenomenal actress, and I really want to see her take over the world. Javis, buddy, what's going on? How are you? Hope you're well. How do I sound, by the way? Do I need to do anything? Adjust the microphone volume. Let me know. Let me know if I need to do that. Does it allow me? Yeah, I'm at 200%, guys. Am I too loud? Tell me if I should take it down. Okay. Francois says it sounds good. Glad to hear it. I'm liking the way my screen looks. I got my layout all the way I want it. I got my banner down below with my stuff, and I got my link tree right here. I'm very happy. My test was low yesterday, says Wednesday Store. Gotcha. Yeah, we had to. I did a boost. I did a boost. Rue says it's good. We have quite a show tonight. I'm really stoked about tonight's show. It's going to be very interesting. It's a show that I wanted to do for some time, and I never really knew how to crack it. And then I figured it out, and I think everybody's going to really enjoy it. Listen. I'm here to learn as well. We're all gonna learn some stuff because I got to tell you, I don't know about you guys. I don't know much about the market, so we're gonna talk to our guest about that. But before we do, hey, oh man, J May wants to know if Steve is here. Stevie Von Frankenstein, my brother, who I've made music with. Steve is with his best friend David Kuehl. They're having dinner over in Larchmont. And Steve, you know, it's funny. I actually spoke to Steve about coming on late Thursday. I'm going to be interviewing an actor from Return of the Living Dead. I'm not going to say which one because it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to be interviewing one of the actors from Return of the Living Dead for Pizza Punk. And then immediately after, I think we're going to do a late night brother show session thing. We're going to discuss some stuff. It's going to be kind of like an open forum hangout, kind of like the female episode we did. By the way, I've gotten a lot more female since the last female, so I think we're gonna do another one of those soon as well. So in any case, if you want more Steve, brother Steve, tune in on Thursday late night sometime. Also working on the Screaming Jay Hawkins video, coming along very nicely. Just did a whole little section about the difference between hoodoo and voodoo as it relates to Screaming Jay Hawkins. Tiny little thing, but I felt like it really added something that I didn't really realize about Screaming Jay Hawkins. That will eventually be available for the whole YouTube channel, but right now it is, unstable internet's telling me I need to get a connection. I hope everybody can hear me okay with this unstable internet. I hope that changes sometime soon. I'm just going to power through it though. We're going to make this work no matter what. Any case. So here's how I'm going to start the show. We're going to kind of start the show. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Totally forgot to pull this up. Pull it up, Jamie. Joe Rogan said some really dumb stuff lately. He's being a real idiot, I think. I still like Joe Rogan to an extent. I like his interviews, but I think he's just been, I keep freezing up, huh? Yeah, I'm looking at myself right now on the thing. That's annoying. Maybe what I need to do is shift. Hold on, guys. Oh yeah, I'm only at 720p anyway. Huh. All right, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully it fixes itself. What I want to do is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shout out no. The first thing, sorry. Order of operations, Jeff. Order of operations. He needs to diversify his guest selection again. Yeah. Order of operations. Okay, first what we're going to do is we're going to start the show the right way. There's only one way that we start the show. And
Jeff is gonna talk about the Misfits right now. He's a nerd about this stuff, obsessed anyhow. Jeff never shuts his face, always needs to talk. Might show some weight if he went out for a walk. Do you think Danzig cares? He doesn't care. He's out incorrect.
I love that. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we had to take yeah, like dude. I did that through a fuzz filter. That was a lot of fun. Dr. Airlift in the house, I saw. What's up, Dr. Airlift? Again, if you are on Facebook, please join us on YouTube. We are only looking at YouTube comments. Please come to YouTube. YouTube is where it's at. Man, I just bought a 12 Hits from Hell LP. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that probably. The box set versions are not the same as these. Brutal record. Yeah. Danzig is moving to Texas according to Jesse James. Wow. Are they going to let him in with everything that he said about JFK? I don't know. What's up, Dr. Airlift? How are you? Oh, crap. So I saw TV Russell Casualty up in the hills. Yo, what's up, Russell Casualty? Glad you could join us as well. Good to see you, friend. So Texas is the reason. Looking forward to buying the Bone White November Coming Fire LP. What's that about? All right, my guest is going to have to tell me about what the Bone White November Coming Fire LP is. I have no idea what that is. That's right, Nikki. All right, so let's look. We got to get through this before we can get to my guest. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to shout out my Patreons. That is super important because the Patreons make the world go round. Like, you have no idea, y'all. And so not only are we going to shout out our Patreons, we're going to do a little support. We want to support the Patreons as well. In the same way, what's up, Lizzie? Welcome to the show, Lizzie. That's right. Woo! We want to support the Patreons. The Patreons support me, so I'm going to support the Patreons back. And I've decided we're going to highlight three of our Patreons today. But first, a Patreon shout out, followed by, this is going to be every week. Every week, we are going to shout out the Patreons and give them the Extreme Danzig close-up. What is the Extreme Danzig close-up, you ask? Well, I guess you're just going to have to find out in a second. So here are my Patreons. Ready? We have Appetite for ATX. We have Nikki. We have Crazy White Boy. We have Mike. We have Adam. We have Adam Harmless. We have Ratty. We have John Voice of Doom. We have Rue Morgue. We have Honolulu Babylon, Cody Crypt, Dr. Airlift, Robbie Peterson, and Kevin Von Spur. So I'm going to salute you all with the Extreme Danzig close-up. What's the Extreme Danzig close-up? It's this! I love it. Okay, let's now what we're gonna do. Now what we're gonna do. Hey, what's up? Oh no, we can't see Facebook. No Facebook comments. Join us on YouTube. Only on YouTube. So that's my saluting my Patreons. I really want to thank all of the Patreons for their support. Like always, every show I'm going to thank you guys. And again, if anybody's got to drop off, I totally understand too. Totally get that. But I appreciate it for as long as you care to support. So that's great. So how are we going to support our Patreons? Well, we're going to, they are artists too. And so we are going to take a look at some of their stuff. Okay, I'm going to make sure that we're not going to listen, unfortunately, but I'm going to advise you all to seek this stuff out. And the reason why is because I don't want to get tagged by YouTube. So this first thing that we have right here, this is from our guy Nicky Coro. He is a very interesting musician who, it's funny. I knew his music before he even, before he started, participating in the show, on the show. By the way, if you're just joining us on Facebook, please head over to YouTube. This is Nicky's music video for a song called Fake Affection. He's got a new EP out. Check it out on Spotify. And I'm going to put the link to this video. And please, if you are on Facebook, join us on YouTube. I got to keep saying it over and over again. So check this out. There it is right there. That's the link. And we're just going to watch a little bit of this video. I really like, this is such a fun video here. My guest is gone. My guest is gone. Come back. We're gonna do it. Why aren't you receiving audio? You should be receiving audio right now. There's no reason why. Yeah, my audio is working. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, I really need. Are you really not hearing me right now? What is going on? Should work now. All right. I don't know what's going on. Dr. Airlift, I need your thing or else I can't highlight it, man. I got to keep the show going. Otherwise, I'm just going to wait till next week. Dr. Airlift, now is the time. Get me the thing. You hear me now. Sorry. I don't know what's going on. Please, if you're not on if you're not on YouTube, join us on YouTube, not Facebook. We watch on Facebook. And again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Okay. There was no audio for both vids. That's really weird. That just might be a melon hiccup. So sorry. He's going to paste it here if he didn't earlier. All right, do it quickly. Do it quickly, buddy. And we'll do. And the last thing I wanted to highlight, in case you guys didn't know, we talked a while back about doing the thing, the petition. There's a petition, you guys. We got. Can you hear me now? Hello. Am I back? Am I back? I'm just curious. Every time you, okay. Robbie says that every time, okay. All right, so I think we figured something else about the new setup. Every time you zoom into a page or it takes the full screen, we lose your audio. So you didn't hear anything that I was saying when we had John Voice of Doom or Nikki's music videos up? Anything? Like for real? That's the problem. I see. It's when I zoom. All right, guys, I'm not going to do that again. We learned something. We learned something new. I want to apologize. I'm sorry for the hiccup. I'm not going to do that. All right, we're all good now. Everything is okay. I really want to help out Dr. Airlift here, but he's not giving me the thing I need. That's why you didn't hear that. Yo, Dr. Airlift, I've been asking you for your motherfucking link for a long time. Hook that shit up. Let's do this. Guys, we need a statue of the Misfits in New Jersey, okay? Please. So please sign the petition if you have not already. You know, I noticed there were contributions to this as well. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know if it's asking you to give a contribution. I'm not asking for contributions here at all. All right. Yeah. So John, Voice of Doom, I was commentating on your video this whole time. You just didn't hear it. Same thing with Nikki. Guys, you didn't hear me talking about your video because I had it full screen. I didn't know that. My bad. My mistake. Damn, that really sucks. All right. Well, in any case, go check out those videos. I was trying to do a commentary while the video was playing on my screen. Well, you know, new software, guys, new software. Yeah, I agree. Man, I've been thinking about the Misfit statue as a piece of history of the city. It would attract a lot of tourists that are into them. I want totally 150, 138%. Okay. Yeah. Guest, I see your private chat. I just saw that. Okay, cool. You're on standby. All right. I can't. Hey, Dr. Airlift. Whoa. I was looking into how much statues cost. They're way expensive. Of course they are. And plus you have all the permits and stuff. That's why we need signatures, guys. We need signatures. We're just in the signature phase right now. We're at 212 signatures. We need to get to 500. It's steps, baby steps, okay? Baby steps. We're going to get to it. We're going to make it happen. Okay? So sign the petition. I'm going to be highlighting this. I want to see this grow. Our next goal is 500 signatures. It's just like getting subscribers. You can't shoot to the top. You just got to go from A to B. It's with anything. With anything you do, with any goal you try to achieve, you never go from A to Z. You go from A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, and so on and so on. And that's right. First, you need Lodi to agree. But that all comes... You can get my link there. Okay, Dr. Airlift, I appreciate that. We'll do it next week. Matter of fact, Dr. Airlift, use the Patreon chat. Send me all that stuff. I'll make sure to highlight it next week. Okay, we might do it in the middle of the show. That way, we jump into the meat of the show, and then, well, in any case, yeah. Okay, all right. Enough of that. Let's kick this off. But boom, it's gone. All right. So, all right, so now I'm going to bring forth my guest. This guy has been a presence on, I don't know, I've just seen him on Facebook and, in all the little misfit rooms. Hey, turn your video horizontal, no vertical. We don't do vertical here. We only do horizontal. I'm talking to him now. This guy's very interesting. He is sort of like a savant when it comes to, he just knows. He has all this information stored in his head. Like he knows when this photo was taken by who and yada, yada, yada. I was like, it's really useful, when people share photos in the Facebook group. If you're not in our Facebook group, please join. If you're not, by the way, if you are not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. But people share photos in our Facebook group, right? And can't hear you in the stream thingy. What the fuck? You guys can't hear me right now? Of course you can hear me. That is really annoying. What is going on with this? Still can't hear me. Why is that? I never had these problems. Okay, you can hear me. I never have these problems with, you can hear me now. Right. Exactly. That's what I thought. In any case, this guy, I don't know. He's a collector. He's a collector, and I've wanted to talk about collecting for a long time. I've wanted to talk about the collector's market. I don't know enough about the collector's market. I know enough to have a working conversation, but I couldn't, tell you the nitty-gritty details the way that this guy can tell you the nitty-gritty details. And so, without further ado, oh shit, I lost my guy. Where did he go? He just left. Oh, there he is. All right, there he is. I'm just going to bring him in. Ready? Without further ado, Hey, Tanner, turn that video horizontal.
Right. Bro, I just had it horizontal. I thought she told me to go the other way. Fuck, I'm sorry. Ah, shit. I bought this bought this fucking tripod just for you.
Oh, nice. That's good, though. Listen, a lot of reasons to have that. Look at that. Look at that November Coming Fire poster. Yeah, so this is Tanner. Tanner is, he's a friggin' enthusiast.
Dork.
He's a collecting enthusiast, dork, nerd, just like me, just like the rest of us. But he has a lot of working knowledge. We're going to talk to him about the market. We're going to talk to him about collecting, the ins and outs, ups and downs, lefts and rights of all of this stuff. And so welcome to the show, Tanner.
Thank you. Good. I'm great. Thank you.
Cool, man. Cool.
Just for you.
Yeah, he's got his glasses on. He's got everything going on. It's perfect. Great. So let's just dive into this. We're going to start out. We're going to learn a little bit more about Tanner. There's a lot I don't about Tanner I don't know. Tanner, let me ask you a question. When did you
This is ridiculous.
When did you first get into or find out or discover the Misfits, Samhain and Danzig? How did it make you feel when you discovered this stuff?
I got a tingly feeling downstairs when I first saw the Misfits. It was just, I first found the 90s Misfits, and I was like, this stuff's cool, but not really for me. And then I realized there was better stuff than the 90s Misfits, and I'm like, oh, this stuff's really cool. So after that, I kind of fell in love with all the whole Misfits, Samhain, Danzig stuff. I've kind of always been, boring and liking like the dorky shit. Oh, sorry, fuck. So, oh man,
That's all right.
I'm killing it.
Dr. Airlift says that you are 5 times as loud as me. That's weird. All right, what about now?
Do I need to
What
whisper?
about now? Can you hear me better? Man, I got to tell you, I'm a little bummed out by Melon is just really shitting the bed with a lot of things about Melon I don't like. And then, okay, so that is that. And what is it about? I mean, what is it about the Misfits that you find most appealing? Like, what is it that you like about it?
Ah, man, like a lot of people say it's like the horror stuff, but for me, it's like the perfect blend of like imagery and the music. Like Glenn's whole DIY stuff I love that. My favorite stuff about the collecting is all the DIY stuff. None of the mass-produced stuff's really for me.
Got you. So you like the aspect of empowerment through doing it yourself.
For sure.
And now what I find interesting about you is that you have like you have like this savant sort of situation where you just kind of like know. You just kind of like know, you have it all stored in your head. I used to kind of be like that about 10, 11 years ago, not anymore. You're just, in a way, you're kind of like me. You just talk to a lot of people and gleaned a lot of information from speaking to a lot of people. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, pretty much. I like talking.
What made you, what made you go down that rabbit hole? Like, what would you do? Like, tell me about that. Without, getting too into detail.
It's just so easy. Like, I would see all these people like on Instagram or Facebook, and the stuff they were saying was just so stupid. And I'm like, these guys, back in the day, like Joey Image was on Facebook. You could just ask the guy, you know what I mean? So I would just, if I had a question, I'd just ask about it. And it just
Gotcha.
kind of stuck with me,
How did you get to know like all this stuff about the photographs? It's like you have it all like, you have like a spreadsheet, a file.
No.
Like, how do you know that stuff?
One of my buddies always makes fun of me because he has a really detailed Excel sheet and he says I need one, but I don't know. I don't see what's hard about it. I don't see how people can't do it. I just look at it and I'm like, oh, it's Eerie Von, that's Karen Sullivan. It's just stuff like that, It's just
Now you also did, I see Nikki's asking what your Instagram is. You guys do have an Instagram where you share photos. Tell me about that.
That's well, it was started by this other kid. It's kind of like the Misfits. Someone started it, and then we took it over and kind of made it our own thing, if you get what I'm saying there. But some kid started it. Joe joined on, and then I liked all the stuff they were posting, and we started talking, and I just happened to be obsessive with them. So, I started posting the pictures and all that stuff, and it got pretty big after a while, but then it got shut down. So the new one's kind of lame. I'm not really into it, but it's still nice to share some of my stuff here and there.
Did you, so is that how you met your friend Joe?
Yeah. He was like the second guy on the page, and then I was like the third guy. We were like 14 or 15 then, young, babies. Wow. And
now let me ask you this. You are young. First of all, what year did you get into the Misfits? I'm curious, just for context here. Nothing to do with age. I'm just
8th grade. I was 14. Like right when that page started, I just dove headfirst. I have this problem where if I like something, I dive headfirst into it.
So the Misfits had not reunited yet, or the Misfits had not reunited yet when you got into them?
No, yeah, they definitely didn't reunite. It was right before like the Static Age Revisited tour Jerry was doing. That's like, I had the shirt hanging up from that tour. It was the first thing Jerry ever sent me was one of those tour shirts signed, and then like a year later, 2 years later, they did the reunion.
How did you feel when the reunion went off, when it was happening?
When like Riot Fest posted like the little teaser, I sent it to one of my buddies, and he goes, "It's gonna be nothing." And then I was actually getting kicked out of school, getting suspended from school, and Joe texted me and said, dude, it's happening. And I was like, this is great. I don't even care about the school thing anymore. I don't need anything. I'm stoked.
Yeah,
It was
so
great.
you were happy about that. You know, when I saw that little teaser, I did something really stupid and nerdy. I took out my Static Age record and I played Come Back on my turntable. And then literally a few hours later they announced it, like, went public that it was happening. And I was like, yes, it's true. It's so great.
It's incredible.
Yeah. It must have been exhilarating. I know it was exhilarating for me. It must have been exhilarating for you to see that happen. Now tell me about the collecting side. When did you get into the collecting? What made you decide that you wanted to collect stuff? Like, how does it work? How did you get the habit?
It was as soon as I got into the band, I was like, man, I got all this cool stuff. I want all this cool stuff. So it was a no-brainer for me because I've always liked the physical stuff. I like holding stuff, and the first thing I ever got was a copy of Evilive signed by like Jerry and a couple of those guys, and it was like $14 on eBay, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is gonna be so cheap. I could buy everything. And then very quickly I learned it was not very cheap, and I could not buy everything. But
was it a real Evilive that you paid $14 for?
it's just a 12-inch. It's just one of the represses.
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Well, I mean, listen, you said Evilive. That could mean a lot of different things.
I got a 3-pack hanging out.
Oh, he's got the 3-pack hanging out.
I'm kidding. I don't got 15 grand.
You hear that? 15 grand for a 3-pack. It used to be. See, when I did know a little bit about that stuff, it was like 10, and now I bet you it's more than 15. I bet you it could go for way more on eBay.
I think the last one that sold was like double that price.
Yeah, that I could imagine that. So you start collecting this stuff. Why do you want to collect it? Like, do you have a goal in mind? Are you going to do a book? Do you want to do some sort of museum? Do you want to, like, what's the purpose of your collection?
This is
got to have them on your wall. There you go.
That's my first one.
I see it on your wall.
I think a lot of people, especially right now, I'm not throwing shade to anybody, but everyone seems to be doing a Misfits book, so I'm definitely not doing that. It's kind of a little passe at this point. But I have no intentions. I just like owning physical stuff. My whole life, I just have a bunch of stuff, and this just made sense because, I mean, this looks cool. This is great, you know? If I brought a date over, it wouldn't impress them, but it impressed me. So
right. So, question. So now, how did your world change and open up when you started collecting this stuff? Like, what happened in your life?
I had a lot less money to do, normal teenager stuff, but I had a lot cooler stuff than most teenagers. I met a lot of cool people. If it wasn't for this collecting stuff, I probably wouldn't know like any of these guys, which is cool, like Robbie, Bloodshed, guys like that, guys I like that are cool. But besides that, most collectors kind of suck, so it's not the best.
Real quick, sorry to cut you off there, Tanner. If you're just joining us, please come on YouTube. We cannot see Facebook comments. We can only see YouTube comments. Join us over on YouTube and make sure to like, share, and subscribe. In any case, so, all right. So you met a lot of different collectors. It's competitive? Is it a competitive sport?
Yeah, everyone's backstabbers.
Everyone's backstabbers. Like, what is that? How does that work? Like, are there private cabals where you're just kind of like, you're like, I heard I got a lead on this thing. You need this for your collection. You go for that lead. Is it about like keeping stuff on the DL so that you can get the best deal?
This is just
what's up, Pat?
This is just kind of for me here. Shout out, Pat. If the person who's mad at me about this button, they'll see that button and they'll know. But yeah, stuff like that. A lot of them are cool. There's a lot of great people that I consider really good friends, and then there's people who, hey Tanner, does this look good to you? And I'm like, yeah, dude, it looks great. And then I'm like, yeah, how do I word this? But they'll never do in return. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys are, oh, I like it, except mine's real.
That you know who? Yeah, this is not real, but this was Robbie Bloodshed made this. I thought he did a really great job.
Yeah, he gave me one. I lost it, so I had to go out and find a real one. So Yeah, one or two.
So it's a backstabbing kind of thing where so somebody will ask you for help, but they won't necessarily reciprocate. It's not a
Yeah,
supportive. It's
yeah,
not a supportive venture. Is that what you mean?
I don't want to drag all the collectors down because there's a lot of really
No, we
good
don't want to
guys
talk
out
shit
there.
about. I don't want to talk shit about collectors at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, but
I'm talking about a general sense. I don't know anything about collecting. That's why I'm asking. In all honesty,
I think right now there's a lot of new guys in the scene. A lot of stuff's going for a lot of big money, stupid stuff like that. And especially now more so than ever, in my opinion at least, it's so much more about the money than the people. For me, the stuff I like to collect has like a story with it. You know, I'm not in it for the money. I don't really care how much I could get for that button. I'm just glad I have it.
right.
So
Now, let me ask you this: what happens when you cop a really fine piece? Do you need to be like, "Yo, I need a certificate of authenticity in the form of a letter"? Like, can you write me the story of what this is and sign it so I have it? Do you have anything like that to go with your stuff?
I have a couple things. Like I have some guitar picks from the Misfits reunion rehearsals, and there's like a note because there's no way to prove that, but besides the note, you know. But a
Did
lot of
you
this,
ask for that note, or they just provided that for you?
it was just in the package. There's a note that says like, "Hey Tanner, I threw these in for you." So I mean, like if I had to sell them, you know what I mean.
Got you.
But no, it'd kind of be ridiculous if I was buying a poster for some guy in his garage and I was like, "Do you mind signing a piece of paper that said I bought this from you?"
I
So
don't think, dude, if you're spending money and, if anything, I think it would give seller confidence when you need to sell or trade or barter that you want some sort of certificate of authenticity. We have Pod. Tanner, why don't you answer this question? We have Pod asking, what's the story with the button, the robot button? Explain.
about like
Yeah.
my personal story with the button or like
No,
what?
like what's the story with the button? What tell the story. Why is that? What is that button all about?
Yeah, that's for another time. I don't want to.
You don't want to explain?
Wait, are you asking like the drama behind me getting the button or like what the button's
What?
about? Yeah, I
I
thought
don't know
that's what.
I don't know about drama
Oh,
behind getting
oh,
the button. There's a
that's
the
why I showed it.
Misfits. No,
Okay,
the Misfits
okay,
made buttons with
yeah.
138, and people would ask them, "What is the meaning of 138?" And they would laugh at them and make fun of them and say, "What? You don't know what that means?" It was a whole thing. That's the story with the button. That's all I meant. I don't
Okay,
know
okay.
any story.
You,
Sorry.
you
Like
missed
I
that
said,
part.
I don't know. I do not know anything about collecting. That's why I'm so interested to have you on. That's why I'm asking so many questions. And again, I'm not interested in necessarily personal drama. I'm talking about the general cutthroat nature of
Yeah,
collecting and just, why do we collect and, how the market works. Like, explain to me, how does the market work? It's generally eBay. Do you just is it like trolling the open ocean with a net and you're like on eBay and you do a search and you find, like, go break it down for me.
I very very rarely use eBay because that's where the people like to throw their money around and show off. So that's never my thing. There's like a running
Okay.
joke between some of the collectors that I can find anything, and it's because I just know how to use Facebook pretty much. You know, you can just find
Okay.
pretty much anything on Facebook. Most of my stuff I bought on Facebook or from like my Instagram. I'd see people that were around back then, and they'd say, "Hey, I have this," and I got a couple of things like that. But a lot of it's just asking. You know, you meet one guy, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I knew Jerry Only in 1988," and you just keep following the trail. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So it's like person to person relationships
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
the buyer seller collectors market in order to sort of make it work.
I think that's kind of back to what you said about the certificate of authenticity thing. Most of the stuff, if you're buying it, you know it's real. You don't need to, because you can tell if you're going to spend $1,000 on a poster, you hopefully you know what a real one looks like. You know what I mean?
Right. But
So
here's my rebuttal though. My one rebuttal is this. Now let's say that for whatever reason, again, no judgment on the seller. Let's say that you have a bunch of kids and you just lost your job. You need to sell your collection. Really sucks. Like, shitty situation. You go to an auction house and the auction house goes, where's the certificate of authenticity? You got to have something to prove
that's
obtain the
fair.
purchase. And that's where I wonder, does it make sense? Are you hurting your investment, whether you're in it for the collecting, for the glory of the collecting, or you're in it because listen, on some level, even though, and you could tell me I'm wrong, but on some level, even as a collector who's collecting for the sake of collecting, on some level, it is an investment. You're putting money into this thing, right? So like,
for sure. Yeah.
So on some level, there must be some sort of, and I guess maybe you've created enough of a reputation that people would be like, oh, well, this guy always has a lot of stuff that's, the legit shit. So of course I know that what I'm getting from him is going to be legit.
Yeah. If you want like something funny here, my buddy Taryn sent me a link to a Bonhams auction for a Misfits Maxis poster. It was a bootleg. It was complete junk. You just look at it, you could tell. So stuff like that leaks out all the time.
But how do you know? How can you tell?
Because the posters were black and white, and they didn't have red on them, and there was red on this one. And you could different sizing, stuff like that. It's just
Bobby Steele had a one of a kind Mylar.
Yeah,
it was rolled up. He didn't show it to me when I was at his house, but it was rolled up in a tube, and he wasn't sure if it was going to break, if it was brittle or something, so he didn't want to take it out of the tube. I think he sold it to Umberto. Umberto had it.
He posted a picture in your group.
Oh, did he? I don't remember. I love that book. I think that book, it's like, look, it's a great way to immortalize a collection,
For sure.
It's of like, hey, here is all the gems, all the stuff. So now what happens? You meet some collectors, you get to know some collectors that like, you see that they're on the up and up, and are there some like live or die buys that you're just like, I know you're gonna like give me a lead? Is it about leads? What about leads? Is leads involved in this?
Dude, I don't think I've ever gotten a lead from anybody. People like once they get something, it's on them. You know what I mean? And if someone has given me a lead and I'm forgetting, I'm sorry. I'm old, but
it just seems like a very competitive, cutthroat sport. Yeah. It's a sport of sorts.
Dude, absolutely. People get so obsessed over it. I'm kind of slowing down a lot recently because I got other priorities. I still like all this stuff, but I kind of just keep my nose in the water, and I see all these people, and to me on the outside now it kind of looks ridiculous, but that was me a year ago,
Now, explain to me how does an eBay, give me the ins and outs of like the eBay side of things. I know you say you don't use eBay, but from an outsider perspective, from someone who's not a collector, it's eBay, right? The eBay race, you're racing down to the end of the clock. What are some tips and tricks for people out there? And here's another question for you. If you don't have context, is the best way to liquidate a collection through eBay piece by piece?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. eBay prices right now are so stupid. You said tips, and the biggest tip I can give right now, and I don't know why everyone keeps doing this, everyone on eBay right now on Misfit stuff is bidding immediately. There's like 15 bids in the first hour. It's so stupid, The common courtesy is to at least wait to the last minute to try to snipe it. But now, with these prices are just so stupid, everyone bids on the first day, and everything goes through the roof. That's stupid.
That is really, really this is what fascinates me. So how do you, are there surefire methods to beat somebody in an eBay auction?
Like the unspoken rule of collecting stuff is if you see something good on eBay, don't post about it, which everyone seems to kind of break that rule now. They see like
gotcha.
Oh, here's a Beware signed by Glenn in 83, and they're like, post on Facebook. So then everyone's on it, you know what I mean? And
gotcha.
But there's really no way to there's like sniping apps you can use and stuff like that, but there's no surefire way.
Would you say, are there etiquette? Is there etiquette to like, okay, before we get to the etiquette, well, I guess what you said was etiquette, but do you ever deal with like green newbies who come in and like they just blow up the spot immediately and you're just like, fuck, dude?
Yeah, 24/7 these days. That's kind of why I'm not into it, because we're all new at some point, but these guys are like new plus. It's incredible. They just gotcha. Throw all caution to the wind. They're like, you know what? I got money to burn. Let me just throw it down and waste it.
Gotcha. Now, like I said, is there like what kind of etiquette do you have? Is there any kind of honor? Is there any kind of etiquette, honor? to make it fair, or like the chivalrous codes of knights. Like, is there anything for collecting at all?
I mean, there's no like set in stone rules. There's no handbook that says like you shall not buy this record if your homie wants it first. But if you're friends with people, it usually goes a lot better. But it's hard to stay friends with people, at least in my opinion, because everyone's kind of out for themselves. It's not like I can't judge them for it, because obviously everyone wants their own stuff, but people get too hung up on it, in my opinion.
Now, like, what about the wild? Like, I'll tell you, twice in my life, I got lucky in the wild, where I got a first pressing of a European Danzig, UK pressing of Danzig 1, which I think is a pretty good get for 23 euros. That's not bad. And paper thin vinyl, though, like could crack in 2 seconds. And I got my Samhain and Danzig, which I've talked about ad nauseum. Have you had any like incredible finds like that, where you're just in the wild, you're like, holy shit, I know what that is, and I'm gonna buy it, and yada yada yada?
I went to Generation Records in New York City in like 2017, and
I know it well.
And they had a Misfits record on the wall, and they wanted like triple the price for it, and I said, that's ridiculous, you're an idiot. And that's the closest thing we've ever seen to something good out on the wall. But it's hard these days. I don't go outside a lot.
Gotcha. Yeah, man, it's I've noticed that you go to a record store, and like I saw the only time I ever saw Only Theater of Pain, which is a Christian death record, in the wild, and it was like $100, and I was like, fuck, I want that so bad. But I cannot afford to spend $100 on a single record, no matter how much it means to me. The most I've ever paid for a record was the Samhain and Danzig for $50.
That's a deal these days.
Yeah, it was a deal. By the way, if you're just joining us, please move from Facebook to YouTube. We cannot see your comments. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Tanner?
Oh, yeah, like with Discogs and stuff like that, every time, record stores, in a good way, are more educated about the stuff they have, because everyone knows that Misfit stuff's expensive. That's not like news to anybody these days. So finding something rare is slim to none.
Tell me about that. Tell me about Discogs, because this is new to me. Not new to me, but like it's something I don't know a lot about. Because Discogs, as far as I understand, it's a cataloging site that also has its own marketplace. Is that correct? I think
it's one of the worst websites on the planet, so I don't use it. Like the UI on it is just absolutely garbage, so I never use it. People swear by it, but it's not me. That's not my style. It works.
Dr. Airlift wants to know if you've ever been ripped off.
Yeah, by one of Jerry's buddies. I hope he's watching this. He owe me $300.
Oh shit!
I just texted him today.
Well, I hope that resolves itself. Yeah. Rue says the first rule of Discogs is you don't talk about Discogs. I've used Discogs as a tool for finding out, information about artists and stuff, but I've never ever explored the marketplace. I do know that someone had a tape for sale on Discogs. This guy who I know he lives right next to me, and I have tried to no avail to get him to let me digitize this tape. And
he's quite the character.
He is quite the character, and
got a good collection.
He's owned a very popular record store back in the day. I have a lot of mutual friends with him. And the chain of ownership is very, very short. Like it was literally given to him by Jerry in one of Jerry's gregarious, here you go. Take this,
Yeah.
Turned out to be a real treasure. And I hope someday, I don't think it's even, you can't even see the listing. It's not there publicly, I don't think. But yeah, that's a very special tape, and I hope that it gets digitized before it gets demagnetized, because that is an unfortunate reality with some of this stuff. You got to be, vigilant and whatnot.
There's so many cassettes out there that people don't realize. Like, there's one similar to the tape we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And just sits there. The guy just likes it because Jerry gave it to him. He says it's a good memory. Jerry was a good friend. It just sits there. He doesn't do anything with it.
Really?
Yeah. There's no intention
Wow.
to selling it. It's
Wow.
cool.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, you know, the other thing, and I talked about this on previous episodes too. The other problem is for some people, it's their intellectual property. And what does that mean? It means if you shot the band, you own the copyright of that footage. It's not something, you know, I mean, you have to take these things into consideration when people don't share something, because they might stand to profit from it someday, and it's not yours to fucking give away unless they say it's okay. And if they share it with you, you have to be considerate of their intellectual property. So, you know, there's that. I think there's that to consider too when people sit on stuff or when stuff doesn't come out. And some stuff gets destroyed, straight up gets destroyed. And it's a real shame when it happens. It's really sad. And you know, that's why, you know, again, it's good when you have people that are out there collecting the stuff, because they're kind of keeping it safe in a weird kind of way. They're keeping it preserved. So let me ask you this. So when you do have company, you sound like you're kind of like a wallflower loner type of, you're a loner, Dottie, you're a loner. But when you do have a friend over and you get to like, is that your favorite, like to get to show them the goods? You don't show them the goods?
No, I have all the goods on display. They like poking at it and touching at it, but I don't know. I like having my own stuff. I don't need other people to see it. I used to post about all the stuff I'd buy, but
so you're like, my precious.
Yeah, exactly. It's just for me. I mean, these kids like basketball and football and stuff like that. They're not going to be like, "Oh, that's a super sweet skateboard deck." They just kind of like, "Why do you spend $900 on a skateboard deck?" You know. Also, I don't know if it comes up on camera, but it's so hot in my room, and if I look super greasy, I apologize.
No, you look fine. You work in a pizza shop, you told me, right?
Yeah, but I work today, dude. I feel like I'm just sweating grease right now.
You want to know what you do when you know what pizza jockeys do when they work in a pizza shop? It gets too hot in there from being next to the ovens. You take a slice of pizza and you just wipe your face down with it. They don't have towels. They just wipe their face down. It gets all greasy.
That's how I get my pretty skin.
I'm just breaking balls. No, you look fine, dude. Don't worry.
Mikey.
But okay, so oh God, I just hit a pothole. What we were talking about? Oh, the collecting, showing your friends collections, wanting to keep it for yourself. That's cool. I can also appreciate that on that level as well. Now, explain to me the bartering. How does bartering work within the trading or within the collecting community? You got a couple extra something special. You're like, I need to diversify my portfolio by, you know, offloading something that I have extra of. Okay, what is that? That's a Fiend Club button?
If anyone needs OG Fiend Club buttons, I got like 4 extras. So I'm always looking for more junk.
It's okay, Tanner, for me to express to the audience watching right now that if you are interested in any of the goodies that Tanner chooses to share with us, he's selling stuff. By the way, if you're just joining us, please take a moment to like, share, subscribe. Before we take a look, I want to take a look at some of Tanner's choice pieces. Before we get there, I want to finish this question. So explain to me again, how does it work? So how do you decide how to do a trade? How do you trade something? What goes into that?
Man, I never sell stuff or trade stuff. So just to preface what you just said, if anyone wants to buy anything from me, I only accept unreasonable offers. I want stupid money, boo-hoo bucks. Okay. But back to your question, trading stuff is weird because like I traded a spare Walk Among Us poster for this bullet button, you know, and one of those things is this big and one of those things is this big.
Right.
So really, for me, I always try to make trades that make sense, not, you know, because they're kind of about the same worth until Walk Among Us posters went through the roof for some reason. But it's really just the price and the rarity kind of thing. I traded, like, I have a horror business alt sleeve over here that I traded. This was probably I hope Umberto's watching this. One of the dumbest things I did as a kid is I found a one-of-a-kind Fiend Club envelope that was just one color. It was not a color that was available. And I found it. This absolute scumbag had it with a couple records. I got it for $200. It was the whole thing. It was stupid. And I traded it for this alt sleeve. Looking back, I regret that immensely. But you live and you learn.
Yeah, but on some level, it's like it something that may be more monetarily valuable might have more of a collector's or sentimental value for you, and therefore a great example of what you were saying. Oh, I traded the button. Oh shit, that sucks. Oh, it is what it is. Sorry, I just knocked over my thing and it stopped recording. Whatever. It's all right. What's backed up in the cloud, baby? Doesn't matter. In any case, it's like what you said. Like, this thing's this small, this thing is this big, but this means something to me. I need to have it for the collection. So therefore, it does have a value. Sure. Someone's asking Sydney Sickness. Great YouTube handle, Sydney Sickness. So ask him about his November Coming Fire poster behind him. It's fan made. I have it on my wall too. So can you, Jeff? Yeah, motherfucker 93.
I got that one, but if we want to talk about, I got a real one right here. I don't just need bootlegs.
What? Can't see it. You gotta show it to us.
Fuck. My buddy Cliff made this one behind me. Cliff's a great guy. He makes a bunch of cool stuff. I like Cliff a lot. He's cool. But this came off a wall in Kentucky. Well, actually, this guy had two of them. One of them, Glenn gave them to him backstage, and one came off the wall of the show. So it's one of the two.
Wow. That's super rare right there.
They're not super rare because all the Samhain posters were printed a whole bunch pretty much, besides the screen ones. Fuck, this is large. But yeah, they're cool. I don't see them come up often anymore. I thought I lost this.
That is really cool.
I found it just for you.
Umberto says the red envelope is in the book. Thanks, Tanner.
Yeah, you're welcome, Umberto. Thank you. I hope you. Where'd that second one go?
So, all right. Before we continue, real quick, again, please take a moment to like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna just do. We have a commercial coming up for a few seconds. Tanner, sit tight for 1 second while I do my little commercial. Okay. We gotta do the commercial. This is for the Patreon. Let me tell you a little bit about the Patreon, but I'm doing it in 3 minutes flat. That's how it works. So I'm not endlessly going ADHD about it, and I never shut the fuck up. Here you go. 3 minutes and I'll shut the fuck up. Ready? And now.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jeff. So I've decided to make a Patreon. What is Patreon? I don't know how to define a Patreon. Let me look it up. Patreon is a membership platform that makes it very easy for creators to get paid for the things that they're already creating. I want to do it full time. I want this to be my full-time job. In my efforts to make that happen, I've set up this platform. Is it going to work? Is it going to be successful? I don't know, but I would rather try and crash and burn than not try at all. The goal is to create enough passive revenue so that I can continue to do this full-time, uninterrupted. Why? Because I love to do this. I love creating content. I love making videos. I love shooting films. I love doing podcasts. In case you couldn't tell, I love to talk and I never shut the fuck up. So right now I've kept the Patreon incredibly simple. There's 2 tiers, and that may change in the future. The Murdergram is a simple way to extend support for all of the hours and hours of free content on the channel for nothing more than $1. 38 cents goes to Patreon. What's $1.38, eh? It's less than a cup of coffee, but it's a great way that you can show support for very little effort. When you divide that $1.38 by the hours and hours and hours of time spent listening to this endless drivel of content, the dollar cost average works out. Next up is the YouTube Casualty for $6.66. The YouTube Casualty is loaded to the gills. Enjoy the archive ad-free, as well as ad-free early access to special docu-style podcast videos, music reaction commentaries, and the like, a month before they drop on YouTube, loaded with ads, I might add. You're also going to get exclusive content and behind-the-scenes content that is not available on YouTube or anywhere else. So you get to peek behind the veil. And believe me, there's a couple of choice pieces. Most of all, more than anything, whether you join the Patreon or not, I just want to thank each and every one of you that comes to the channel, that watches all the shows, that leaves comments, that participates. that subscribes. That's really the most important thing. This is just trying to find a way to earn a living as an artist. And with that, thank you for my TED Talk. Join the Patreon because we need you! 66 cents.
All right. We're back. Okay. Thank you. That was the quick commercial break. I'm going to shut the fuck up, not saying another word about Patreon. I think that's pretty good, right? Keeps it nice and simple, straightforward to the point. All right. So Tanner, you talked about, what were we talking about? We were talking, you were going to show us some of your primo treats. So Tanner, what do you got going on? Show us some shit, man.
I'm going to start off with this one because I saw Umberto's in the chat. So I got to thank Umberto for this one. I don't hold a grudge against him too much, Link. So it just, nice little horror business, but with that alternate sleeve, I think it looks much cooler than what would come. Oops, you can't see it, but everyone knows what horror business looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not a big record guy, which is kind of surprising. A lot of people like the records. I'm more of a paper guy.
Oh, you're why is that? Why are you a paper guy over a record guy? Why? Explain.
You can display paper. Records on walls kind of look dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's more artwork.
Very true. That makes sense.
So we were talking about Samhain. Talk about Samhain.
Is that the lyric? Is that the?
Well, this is the fold out poster.
Right. Oop. Wow, that's okay. That's not as bad as John Voice of Doom with the titty shot. John Voice of Doom. I was not expecting that. Oh, that was great.
Here's something you don't see often. It's the center label. So that would be pressed into the vinyl. There's, I think, like 25 of these. That might be the Walk Among Us one. I'm not quite sure. But like I said...
Do you have a lyric sheet? Do you have a lyric sheet for the Initium?
I don't have one for Initium. Everyone has the November Coming Fire one. I have one of those. But the Initium ones are rare. Can't find them.
Right.
I got one for
when they... it's funny, though. We always thought that they were... I thought they were bootleg. We used to think on Misfits Central that it was a bootleg thing. We didn't realize they were real. Yeah. Years and years and years ago. We all know that that's not the case today. It's pretty cool, though.
Here's a cool thing. When you make a flyer back in the day, you need like a physical thing to copy. And
right. I think we lost your audio. Yep, lost your audio.
Yes, just called me. So this is the original.
We didn't hear what you said. We didn't hear what you said. Say it again.
I said, this is the original, this is a photo print that was used.
Yeah, look at that.
Was to use this, if you ever look at the back of Walk Among Us, that's that photo shoot. All
right, wait, hold it up for a second. Hold it up. I want to talk about it for a second. So this is so cool, guys. Look at this. I've talked about this on my channel before, but what's awesome about it, push it up closer to the camera just so I could really see it. Yeah. So what's really cool about this, guys, in the days before YouTube, before Photoshop, if you wanted to make a flyer, you'd have to do it physically like this. Hold it up again one more time, Tanner. Look at that. You have to cut out the things. You couldn't make it. If you wanted to make something smaller, you'd have to Xerox it. You'd have to shrink it via Xerox, then cut it out and then repaste it on. You couldn't just shrink it digitally. And that's the analog process, the art of knowing how to lay out something. It's not easy. It's a beautiful, in a way, just in the way that a shoemaker is like a craft, or I don't know, some bolt, like a candle maker. Man, there is such a craft to punk rock flyer and whatever layout doing stuff like that. Right. Tanner, what is the process? And you see this all the time too. It's like an aesthetic that you see where they do a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox to sort of transform the shape of something. Are you familiar with the technique I'm speaking of?
I think what you're talking about kind of applies to a couple different things, but
go ahead.
I mean, if we take something like this, for example, if you ever seen, I think they never really use this to make an actual flyer. I know one of my buddies has one, but it's the
Yeah,
one
I don't
I've
think
ever
I've ever
seen.
seen that before. Never seen that before.
The one that
Amazing.
actually that showed up is cuts Glenn out. It's a long one, but
Gotcha. Gotcha.
because when you would Xerox there and make it really dark, and actually this is a good transition point. You can't really see it, but Glenn used to color in his devil lock on photos before he'd Xerox it. So when it would Xerox, it would look bigger and fuller. So you can see it on here a little bit. The Sharpie and
wow.
shit. Yeah.
I mean, think about that. That what you just described is something that can be done in Photoshop. We talk, you think about that in like a Photoshop sense, but it's like, oh, I want my devil lock to look thicker. I'm going to take a photo of myself. I'm going to do my layout, and then I'm going to, color it in to make it look thicker and darker than it really is.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
this is really cool. I think
I've
never showed this publicly. It's kind of ridiculous.
We appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's see it. Show us the goods.
So the 90s, their Misfits are coming back. I'm not really a big fan, but it still happened. But I like but they got to make some new instruments. So these are Jerry's original sketches for his Devastator days.
Wow.
I would show more of it, but it's got everything on there. Someone could replicate it to a T.
I respect your privacy, and I appreciate you showing it. That is really freaking crazy. Look at that.
If you ever go to Jerry's house, he's got a copy of it that's a little bit different. He says he's got the original, but his is on paper and mine's on poster board, so I don't think this is a copy.
Is that something that you could talk about a little bit, or is that kind of like top secret stuff? Have you been to Pro Edge? Have you seen the pit?
I have not been there. I've not been there. People have sent me pictures. My friends, we got some mutual friends in there who like to kind of tease me.
Gotcha.
But
gotcha.
Right at his kitchen, there's just these sitting there, and I've got the real ones, Jerry. So if you want them.
What else is interesting? What is really like super valuable in the sense, or rare, or like I don't know, like something that's like that people are like frothing for at the mouth right now in the collector's market? But anything that like people are just like, holy shit, and that's another question too. Does stuff come in and out of like vogue? Like, oh my god, these are really hot right now. Everybody wants this for their collection. Now they want this. Like how does that work?
Yeah, it's a phase. It's just like anything. Like this is something I bought from my buddy Troy. This also goes back to Umberto too. Everything goes back to him in the long run. But these were kind of hot for a minute. The Plan 9 skate decks, But
wow,
these ones, if you can notice, there's nothing on them. They're blank. These are the blank decks. I never screened them, so they're just blank.
Oh, cool.
Blank Zorlak decks. These were everywhere for a minute. Now no one cares about them. Dime a dozen. Stuff like that.
Question. What's the deal with the Bone White? I heard something about a Bone White November Coming Fire. Is that a bootleg, or what is that? I've heard of a white.
I don't know if you saw me, but when you said you were going to ask me about it, I was going like this because I have no idea. I think
you have no idea?
I think that's probably. I think that was that April Fool's meme.
I got you. Do you now? I know you're not a fan of. Oh, look at those! Look at those! Beautiful.
Love these. These are some of my favorites.
I love that. I love that Fiend Club one is my favorite. That's the original, right? That's the 1979 original. Am I correct?
Well, this was earlier, but the first ones that at least I know of, they use the Maxis screen. So like the black.
No, go back to that other one. Go back to that other one. My understanding, not that one. That one, this one, yes, but with different colors, like a slightly colorful version of this. Isn't that the first envelope that they sent out?
No, the first one was the Black Horror Business one, which was they used the Maxis screen.
Oh wow, I did not realize that. Okay, so there was one before that. That was the original.
I think.
Yeah. And then that one I've seen a lot. The Fiend Club logo one. You see that a lot.
I think these ones are much more common. There's different colors. This was the red envelope I was talking about earlier that Umberto got for me, but I just have a black one now. This came from Jerry's Garage. I'm sorry, Carol Kramer in Farm Hits, Missouri. You never got your envelope.
Aw.
But I got it, and I got all the cool stuff that was in it too. So thanks.
Ouch. Ouch. It was full. It was pregnant with things inside. That's crazy.
There was some mail. There's a bee on my stuff.
Robbie Bloodshed wants to know, what's the oldest piece in your collection?
Probably. Oh man, I gotta think now. Oh man, this button probably is. That's pretty early. This is back when Glenn hand pressed the buttons. So that's 78. Yeah, right around there.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not enough stuff from 77 out there. I wish there was more.
Now, let me ask you this. In your research, in your understanding of things, the Misfits name predates the year 1977 as early as 1976?
That's what
1976?
That's what I always heard. I don't know if you ever got the pleasure to talk to Jimmy Battle.
I did. I did speak. I have an email from Jimmy Battle as well as one from Diane DiPiazza.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that one. I never got Diane. She read my messages, but never got back to me.
She was very sweet, very nice. And I was, very, very cordial. And I totally understood her position on things and left her. I love this guy. Yeet just got here. What has he missed? He referred to him in the third person. I love this guy. Yeet. Jimmy Battle says as early, and it's possible that Glenn was using the name as early as 1976. That might make sense.
Have you ever seen that shirt that Glenn?
Right. In French. It's in French.
Yeah, exactly. I showed Robbie this. This is the book that name came from.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It's kind of sucky. The book isn't very good, but
well, we do know that Glenn was very much into literature and, Charles Bukowski and things and whatnot. So,
this book is right up his alley.
It's right up his alley. Exactly. Now, do you think that when he was doing that sort of art, that iconography in 76, do you think that maybe, because, a part of me wonders, was Glenn kind of designing clothes, or maybe he would have gone in a style of fashion had he not done a punk band? You know what I mean? On some level, you see what he did in 1979 with Natasha's storefront and George Harrington and yada, yada, yada.
Without giving too much away, I know some collectors don't believe me out here, but there is a first Misfits shirt, and it's different. It's a weird mix of art punk and horror punk. A lot of people I know Frank Licata always says that the horror thing was coming while he was in there, but you could definitely tell it was in Glenn the whole time, especially 77. And the first shirt that I had seen is, you look at it and you're like, okay, this is the Misfits, but it's just far away from an actual Misfits design.
He grew up on horror movies were always there. Famous Monsters of Film Man was always there. But I think that when he approached music, he did not approach it from that horror aspect. He approached it from what was happening in New York.
Oh, for
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's coming at it from Suicide meets The Doors meets art rock. We're not even going to we're going to be super avant-garde. We're not even going to have a fucking guitar player. Which probably a lot of different, but I mean, again, too, you look at a song like Come Back, a lot of those early songs sounds like they were written on a piano. They don't sound like they're written on a guitar, which is what I said in the very, very first episode of this whole series and whatnot. Now let me ask you this. What has happened recently? And you have a friend. We're going to bring on a friend in a few. You recently in the recently, I love seeing the friendship bond. That's wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. Cherish those because sometimes they, it's good to have, as I always say, it's nice to have 100 pennies, but it's even better to have 4 quarters. Better to have 4 quarters.
Make yourself sound old.
No, but it's true. It's a good adage to have. It's a good adage to have. What has caused the massive inflation in the market? we've seen records just go for stupid, ugly money. Started last year, really, I think, or at least that's when it caught my eye. It might have even been earlier than that. Like, what's going on? When did you start to notice it? Take me through a timeline. What's going on?
I can remember when I got into collecting like real seriously, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put all my money towards this stuff. A Green Earth AD sold for $2,000, and everyone was like, whoa, prices are ridiculous. Who would spend $2,000 on this record?
Beast. The Green Beast.
No, the Green Earth AD, like the record
Green Beast.
No,
yes,
the Green Beast is different. That's the sleeve.
What?
Green Beast is Wolf's Blood. That's
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Wait, so so you're telling me the 100 Green Earth ADs are not known as Green Beasts?
No, those are just called Green Earth ADs. So
no, those are Green Beasts.
Hey, okay, so here's a Wolf's Blood, right? Normal, standard Wolf's Blood.
What?
And then here's the Green Beast version.
Wait, with the skull balls and the snake dick?
Exactly.
Perfect. There's some skull balls and the snake dick. I like that. Yeah, we'll put that on the record. It's perfect.
I wish I bought.
That's what.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it.
That's why it's called a Green Beast.
Because
I see it slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got something cool to show you revolving those.
Hold on.
Those
Wait,
balls.
Tanner. Wait. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure Green Beast simply means a Green Earth AD.
No, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm shocked because literally I've thought this for like 15 years.
No, they're just, you see it? Green. Like the color palette got swapped, so everything that's green is orange and orange is green.
But isn't it green? Is the record green as well?
No, this is a black record. The Earth ADs that are pressed on green, those are green, and those are just called Green Earth ADs.
Green Beasts. They're Green Beasts.
They're not Green Beasts.
They're Green Beasts in my heart forever. They're Green Beasts. What were you going to say? You were saying something's really cool or something or else.
Oh, I said I'll show you something really cool after. I don't think anyone. It didn't really make a lot of noise, but there was a companion piece that went with this original artwork that the Carol Stockard, the artist, sold on eBay, and I lost it because I was at work. But it's really cool, and it kind of blends in with this. There's like a part 2, if you know what I'm saying.
There's a part 2 of that piece that's part of the original piece that Glenn.
Yeah, saw in that fateful fanzine.
Now, do you think? Right, I think I've seen it actually.
It's there's another.
I might have seen that.
Demon Balls.
Seeing the original. Yeah, I remember seeing the original, or maybe it's in the book. Is it in the Scream With Me book? Is that where I saw it?
Well, Berto has the original artwork for Wolf's Blood in the book, but he does not have the secondary piece because it wasn't really meant for the Misfits, if you get what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Chris is asking if you've insured your collection, and it's not a bad. Listen, that's a smart move. Have you not insured it?
My family keeps saying I should do that. And hey, Chris, we talked a long time ago. I hope you're doing good in Salem.
Chris is going to come on the show some point in the future. I want to talk to him about his experiences.
Chris is cool. I like Chris.
To have him on the show. He just started talking about how he was at shows and stuff. I was like,
there's that picture of him.
Yeah, we had Tony Matura. Shout out to Tony. I haven't seen Tony in a while. And his Secret Subway. Tony's awesome. And he was like, yeah, I was around back then. I saw him. I was like, dude, Tony, come on the show. And he did. And it was great. It was really, really great. Tony's an awesome dude. Miss you, Tony. Hope you're well. But yeah, I'm excited to talk to Chris. Oh, we have Eric in the house. How you doing, Eric? What's going on? Showing us some skulls. That's cool, man. And Taryn wants to let me know that I am wrong. That Green Beast is a German Earth AD in green.
Love you, Taryn.
Whatever, you guys. Actually,
Taryn's a good guy. You should get Taryn on the show.
All right.
He has a stupid accent, but besides that, he's cool.
So, okay, Junk Food Kid is asking, has Tanner seen The Earth Volume 2 yet? And what does he think of it? And yeah, by the way, guys, the Fiend Collector, this guy, the Fiend Collector, his name's Michael. He's a really nice guy from my interactions with him. He's got a website where he's recataloging stuff, and he's got a book. He's like rewritten the book on Misfits collecting and whatnot. And he's put out the second volume. It probably is sold out already. If it's not sold out, go check it out. Go support it. It's independently put together. And I don't have a link at the moment, but it's on the Lodi Facebook page. Go seek it out, please.
Those guys are. I like Michael and I like Fred, the guy who does it with him. I think they're great guys. That book isn't for me. That is up my alley. I was not interested in buying it, but anyone who wants
Gotcha.
it, I think you should buy it. Good on those guys, but not for me.
Yeah. So when did you start to see everything explode?
Oh
in the
yeah,
market?
so like 2016, the Green Earth AD went for $2,000. Everyone's like, "This is ridiculous. Who would ever buy that?" And then the Misfits Reunited, that was boom. Prices went up a little bit, but now
Gotcha.
it's snowballing. And I think what a lot of it is, and this might sound kind of corny or cliche, but the stuff Glenn's doing is, back then at least, is it's artwork. It's not just records. This stuff could be in a museum. The posters he'd screen, the records he made.
Right. Totally agree.
It's masterpiece
agree.
work, and I think people are, one, buying it because they're like, wow, this shit's cool, and two, because it seems to hold its value. It might not forever, but there's always going to be some value. It's good stuff. Like this is one of my favorite records. I love Marilyn Monroe. This is one of the things that got me into the band. I love everything about it. I wish I had a purple one. I let my buddy buy the purple I was going to buy. You owe me a favor on that one.
I've held one. I've held a purple and a black in my hand at the same time.
But I love this thing, and I got this for $400, and that was the most I'd spent on a record. I was like, oh, this is ridiculous, and I just saw one of these sell for like $2,000. That's ridiculous. It used to be a dime a dozen. But
now here's what's interesting. Let's talk about it. Before you show me that. Let's talk about that for a minute. I think Who Killed Marilyn is a very interesting thing that we don't talk about enough on this show. And the reason why I want to talk about it, I want to get your opinion, your 2 cents on this. Glenn is in the middle. Everything he's released up to this point is under the moniker of the Misfits, right? And then all of a sudden and he's talked about the reasons behind it. I think he talks about it in the Pusshead interview. Do you think that is any inkling of Glenn dipping his toe in the water, going, I'm going to try and go solo? Like the first time that he's really unhappy with the band, they're inactive, and I'm going to try and strike out on my own. And in order to do that, in order to not have to deal with royalties, I'm going to play all the instruments. And listen, you can like Who Killed Marilyn all you want. For me personally, and I'm speaking just in my opinion personally, the drumming, it's not good. It doesn't, the vocals are great, but the guitar playing and the bass, everything's very rudimentary. It's Glenn really, really trying his very best to say, look, I can do this all by myself. The songs themselves are great. I love those songs, but the Misfit versions are a lot better because the players have a lot better chops than Glenn does at that time as he's doing that stuff. What do you think? I'm curious to get your opinion.
I think, a lot of people disagree with me. They say the same thing you do about how it sounds. I think it's a perfect record, but that's just because I love it so much. So that's, I'm clearly looking at it with some romantic goggles on. But I think I've heard from some friends of Glenn back then that he had mentioned wanting to do his own thing as early as 1981. He was like, I'm over this.
Right.
So, it makes sense. I can't remember when this came out, 80, 81, something like that. So
I think it might have been the summer of 80?
Something like that. I think it was in the summer. I think Glenn's never content. I think he's never content and always wants to do something. You know what I mean? He just can't. So I think that's what it came out of.
Right.
I think the band ending was kind of. He likes to look back on it and say, "Oh, at the Santa Monica Civic Center, I said this was my last formal show." But I think the Greystone thing, he just kind of decided on the spot and was like, "Screw it, we're done." At least in my opinion.
Right. Well, I think that's 100% true because they were up to that point. They might have been going to Europe. That was in discussion. So it was, I think you're right. It was absolutely impromptu with how the show was going. He just couldn't take it anymore. It's like our brand new drummer just shit the bed. And at the end of the day, it's like, why not just have Todd Swallow fill it to begin with? Like, I mean, dude, he's right Todd. There. Or like friggin' Steve Zing or like somebody or Erie or whoever, just throw them in there. They're all capable of drumming, hardcore drumming. Just have them jump in and do the thing, the 4/4 time. And, they had dates coming up and they just all, Glenn's like, screw this. I'm going to totally go in a different direction.
I got a couple flyers here they're like small ads from the Village Voice for shows that end up being canceled. So I always thought that was, it should be.
These are in later in 1983.
These were shows that were planned and then they just never happened.
Wait a minute. That were not Germany. So they're not
No.
on Misfit Central?
No, they're Dover Show
What?
Place, New Jersey.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I'd like to
No,
I'd like to say this. Misfit Central
that's a
is missing
discovery.
a whole lot of stuff.
We know
There
this.
is
Of course.
I love Misfit Central. Mark Kennedy was a great guy to me. I haven't talked to him in a while. Love you, Mark. But
Mark is the man. We miss you, Mark. You rule.
especially in like the 77 era, 78, there was so much missing from there. You know, they don't mention the other guy from The Victim, stuff like that. So
Yes, that's right. That's right. They are missing. There's a lot of stuff missing. I found out some of that truth when I did a lot of interviews. Let's just say that.
So those are
wow. So those were shows that they had on the books in 1983.
If you cross date like what it was Saturday, November 25th or whatever.
Yeah.
It was 1983 or whatever, or 1980,
Right.
Stuff like
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
So in addition to a tour of Germany, there were local shows planned. The Misfits were not going to break up, folks. They were not going to break up. They broke up because of how bad Greystone Hall went, you know. Crazy. So crazy. Let me ask you this. What do you think would have happened had they stayed together a little bit longer? Do you think that they would have kept? Do you think that they would have just imploded just a little bit more down the road?
I think it was perfect that they ended because it just added on to the legacy. It was like a classic G.G. Allen line. He's like, if I die at the top, I'll always be at the top. And I think that's kind of what the Misfits did. Glenn saw it going down, and he was like, I'm out. So they kind of went off on like this legacy, you know, that held over for all these years.
Well, I'll tell you, if that's what G.G. Allen said, then he could have died right after Always Was, Is, and Shall Be, or whatever. That
is a great record. I love that.
Let me tell you something. I'm not a fan of G.G. Allen at all, but except for that song Carmelita is a beautiful song. Besides that song and besides that Jabbers record, I could give a flying shit about G.G. Allen. Yeah, that record, fucking golden.
There's a couple 7-inches right after that you should check out. They're
right, same era. A couple of songs that are not on the record. I mean, that was when he was really trying to legitimately be a musician. You know what I mean? He wasn't just
for sure.
He wasn't just swallowing laxatives. See, that's the difference between. We talked about this with Nick. Shout out to Nick, my co-host for the Iggy and the Stooges show, which is coming again this Sunday, guys. If anybody's down with Iggy and the Stooges, we're doing a second episode. We're covering the Stooges' first album. But we were talking about the difference between Iggy Pop and G.G. Allen, and the difference is that Iggy Pop, everything that he did was genuine from the bottom of his balls, and everything that G.G. Allen was swallowing laxatives at the beginning of a set because he knew he wanted to take a dump on the stage. You know, and it's like that's the difference. Like Iggy Pop, when he ends the set and there's like holes in his chest from the drumstick that he stabbed. He had no intention of stabbing himself in the chest with a drumstick. It's just that's what happened. He felt it in the heat of the moment. As Screaming Jay Hawkins says, in the heat of the meat and the mass of the ass. Very cool. Let's bring your friend on. Oh, you're gonna show us something real quick. What is that? Oh, I have one of those as well, but I think yours looks way nicer than mine. Yours is on darker ink than mine. Mine is which ones was that? Was that
LA?
No. Do you know whose set list it was particularly?
I think I got it from one of Glenn's guys, so I'm not quite sure, but I think Dave was the only one who had these paper ones, right?
Yeah. Okay. So then I didn't realize that. So I have Dave's as well.
I think he was one of the paper.
Sal B, I have to shout out, no matter how I feel about Sal B today. I'll always love you, Sal, that was a really nice thing you did for me. He introduced me to Jerry. It was my first time meeting Jerry, and he brought me Dave Lombardo's set list, and that was a really nice thing of Sal to do.
Joe met Sal that day too. We were just joking about that.
Sal B?
Yeah. Before we get Joe on, I want to show like two more things.
Yeah. Please show. Listen. Show
us
whatever
kind of funny.
Show us some stuff. Show us some other shit.
I think this one's kind of funny.
Like. Everyone,
everyone loves erotica. It's an American classic. It's the Casablanca of our generation.
Yeah, of course.
And before they made
Woo!
the posters about it, I really
Yeah.
wanted one of the posters. So this is the actual. It's way too big to show, but it's
Yeah.
the poster that would hang up in the movie theater for the
Nice.
first screening. So this is.
Did you just nab that? Did you just rip that down and walk out of there?
No, this was like a poster board, and we got it from the girl who owned the movie theater.
Oh, wow. Very cool. That's very cool.
These ones I'm going to bring up just because I want to convince you to sell me those shirts you have. So I'm going to show some of mine.
That will never happen, my friend. And the reason why,
Tanner,
the reason why I don't think that can ever happen is because they were given to me as a present.
Everyone dies.
I know, but you know what? It were given to me. Oh, wow, that was really dark. Listen, I'll tell you something. If it comes down to feeding my family, I'll sell anything that I have to sell. But I would never give away a gift that, like Steve Zing gave me one of those orange Samhain buttons. I can never give that away. It was a gift. It was like a present on my birthday. Like I could never sell that. And I know those are pretty rare.
All right.
So
I pulled out a lot of the stuff I think you guys would get a kick out of. You guys like to joke around a lot. I'm obviously not a very funny person, but a classic Eerie Von design, Termites from Mars.
Wow. Very cool. That's real. Oh yeah, that's definitely Eerie Von because the stuff on the side that was done. Yeah, look at that.
These things are tiny.
At that.
These guys were. I thought I was tiny. These guys are babies.
Wow. That's a Termites from Mars. You said?
Yeah, there's a little termite guy.
Wow. That's so cool. Now, did that come from do you know where the original art comes from, or are they
Eerie? I posted it one day on Facebook, and Eerie remembered it. But now off the top of my head, I have no idea. I think he drew it probably. Just
Yeah, that's so sweet, man. Look at that.
If anyone wants me to bootleg them, I'll screen them. Just pay me money.
Now, you do actual like analog screening yourself.
Yeah. I'm not very good at it, but
that's okay. I bookmarked that in my mind, Tanner. We'll talk. We'll talk sometime in the future.
After we're done with this, I'm doing some. This is
yeah.
You should,
nice.
You should be able to recognize this. Everyone should.
Oh. Yeah, of course. Seen that one a bunch.
Classic.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Oh fuck! I'm just toss them over here. This one is.
Those are so. Question. Those are in incredible condition compared to the ones that I have. Those came directly from Erie, or did you get them from
one? One came from Erie. One came from Erie's old bass player. This one came from
Mortis. No, Robert.
Rob. Yeah, Rob's a great
What's
guy.
Up, Rob? Rob, we got to talk, buddy.
You do. Rob's great.
Got to talk to Rob.
This is
Astro Boy, man.
I'm a huge Astro Boy fan. I've loved Astro Boy my whole life. And I asked Eerie if he had one of these. This is Glenn's screen, not his screen. And he had this one. So this is printed by Glenn and then painted by Eerie. Some dork stuff.
I mean, guys, this is literally art on T-shirts, handmade. I mean, this is so priceless. Like it's so priceless. And now, for those of you who are not aware, this is a little bit of a retread. I'm going to just say it super quick because I don't want to make a whole big deal about it. The Glenn and Jerry and Eerie by proxy and the rest of the guys, they were printing these shirts and selling them. They had a T-shirt business. They were doing Hot Topic before Hot Topic. They were finding stuff that they couldn't get a T-shirt of and making it. It's like, I want a T-shirt of Count Chocula. This is so cool. And, so I'm going to make a T-shirt of fucking Count Chocula,
Oh, I don't have it on me right now. But
it's like Hot Topic before Hot Topic. And think about the industry that Hot Topic would like exploit in the 90s, where they would like print up stuff, pop culture stuff that people wanted. And then, the Misfits, look, these guys are doing this stuff way before. Hey, what is maybe you know this, tell me about the origin of the Evilive back art. Is that Glenn's design?
Yeah, I think so.
He drew that?
I think so. But obviously, as we saw with my comic book discovery the other day, Glenn liked to
I got to tell you, dude, I really got to hand it to you. That was a great find. That blew me away. I thought that because someone recently had said as of this year that was Glenn's original artwork.
Yeah, a lot of people like saying stuff they don't know about.
Well, but it's kind of amazing that again, it's just like Photoshop. I literally do the modern version of what Glenn does. I go to Google, I take something and I like sort of composite create my own thing from a bunch of little things and make something.
Sure.
It's like remixing. That's what you're doing. You're taking pop culture items and you're remixing them.
I think Glenn was a genius. You know, obviously not. It had to be him who made that. He took the pieces for it, but he was the one who made the whole thing. You know,
right? He can visualize. He can visualize. We have Nikki is asking, "What did you discover?" What he discovered was.
So I'm looking for.
Oh, that's what he's looking for. So Nikki, hold on a second. He's going to show you. He's going to show you in a minute.
I got to sit down. I got too many comic books over here.
Whoa! Oh, you collect comic books too? Holy shit!
This was way before the Misfits thing.
Now, what some people don't realize about Glenn either, we did a whole episode about Glenn being a comic book collector. Glenn could tell you anything about any comic book ever made. He could tell you the artist, you know, what he's like, he knows so much about stuff. Look at that.
Now, here's
Nikki,
the good.
Do you see this?
Here's the good news, everybody. This goes to you, Nikki, whatever. I have a whole bunch of these. So,
boy. So if anybody wants to purchase one from Tanner because of its connection to November Coming Fire, you can. You can do so.
Oops,
what is that? That's the arm. Wait, go back to that one. Go back to that one.
I'm going. It's too much shit. I'm making a mess of my room for you, Jeff.
I appreciate it. Look at that. That's the November Coming Fire. The whatever the bones of the Scarecrow guy.
I'm fucking.
That is amazing, Glenn. Look at that. Look at the skeletons. This is like
boogity boo.
Crazy. I mean, Glenn was like, "This is what I want." He goes to his collection. He finds stuff that makes sense to him, and then he analog photoshops it using his hands to put it all together. By the way, if anybody wants a T-shirt of November's Fire sour cream, check out my link tree. Go to the link tree. Check out the T-shirts I have. You can get I'm not going to show it here. I don't want to ruin what we're looking at, but check that out. November's Fire sour cream.
Okay, this is something I think everyone will get a kick out of. If you've ever been friends with me on Facebook, you've seen this one. So there's a guy who passed away semi-recently, Mike Mindless, great guy, another character.
I've interviewed Mike, and I knew him sort of well. And yes, R.I.P. Mike.
So we could see this poster behind me.
Mm-hmm.
A little cut and paste Glenn did for Walk Among Us, advertising a show at Irving Plaza.
Amazing.
But it hung in Bleecker Bob's. But from Mike, I got Jerry's bass strap from the bass he broke and threw into the show, into the pit.
Wow.
Well, it was
that's so cool.
I fucking forget the name of the band. The band who had it, it kind of changed hands for a little bit before Mike got it back. But it was made
of leather.
Yeah, it's leather. It's all.
Dude, you should make a belt out of it.
I don't need a belt. I wear gym shorts every day.
Me too. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think Jerry puts those strings on his arms? You think that's because he wants to be a wrestler?
Make him look big. Get those guns out.
Yeah,
dude. Absolutely.
Oh, that's what it's about. All right. It's like a tourniquet, you guys. It restricts the blood flow and makes his muscles look bigger.
Someone named Nikki just followed me on Instagram. So if that's that one Nikki, I got comic books for you.
That might be Nikki, man. Nikki is the guy at the beginning with the music video. That's Nikki.
Yeah, I watched
the music video. It's a great video.
Oh, okay. Actually, we'll correlate to this, and then we'll get Joe on. We're talking about.
Here we go. Paul Seacrest. Hey, are the comics going up? And I have a few Verets.
I sure hope so. That's why I bought so many. This is something I did.
That's cool, Sydney.
Oh.
Dr. Airlift has the Christ Star. Wait, what? Let me see that. Hold on.
That
is MSG.
It's a poster I made. Oh,
you made that? Cool.
I made this. Yeah. I thought talk about us doing Photoshop.
I was about to say, did you pitch that to them to see if they would use it?
I did that with another poster, and it just so happened Glenn said, "Looks nice," and then a poster came out that looked a lot like mine.
Ouch. Ouch. Listen, that's what happens when you get too close to the light, if you know what I mean. You get too close to the light, and that's what happens. You gotta.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, you should be honored. That's great.
That's exactly. This is cool. Everyone likes this record besides Glenn and Jerry.
Let's see.
The 12 hits promo.
It's great. Is that a real one? That's a real.
That's a real one. We don't have bootlegs around here.
That's right. Do you have a vinyl? Do you have a vinyl of 12 Hits from Hell?
No, I don't own a single bootleg record. Now,
let's talk about that for a minute, because this is a great topic, actually. Before we bring Joe on, poor Joe waiting in the wings. Here's a great diverse, polarizing topic. Bootlegs. Now, on one hand, bootlegs are not cool because the artists themselves are not getting paid for their work, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And they're really shitty. On the other hand, a bootleg allows people who are not serious about collecting but want to feel like a collector to have something that sort of is a replica of the art. Tanner, where do you lie on the bootleg spectrum? How do you feel about bootlegs?
Right from the get-go, I never liked bootleg records. Just in today's day and age, it doesn't make sense to me. People say, I want to listen to the record. You got YouTube, you got Spotify, you got all that junk. You don't need to buy some bootleg record for some guy from Germany. That's just because you're lazy. And so bootleg records, I was never a guy of. I like a good bootleg shirt that looks cool. You know, I'm down for those. I do them myself. I don't sell them. Don't sue me, anybody. But bootleg posters I'm cool with. But like bootleg records, I'll never understand. People collect them. Like some of them are selling for stupid money. Like some Cough Cool bootlegs. That makes no sense. You're throwing your money away at that point. Spend it on something nice. Buy some Jerry only silly bands. It just doesn't make sense to me. Some kid at work gave me those yesterday.
So, okay. And then what about the people that can't afford the real deal, but want to have it, even if they're listening on Spotify? Is it still like fuck them?
How do I word this without sounding like a pompous douchebag? But there's no comparison, all right? You hold one of these and you're like, all right, this feels nice. This is good quality. I mean, you hold one of these bootleg records. I don't know how to word this. It's like when people wear like a fake Gucci shirt. We all know you're not fooling anyone. You just look stupid, all right? You don't need to spend. If you don't got the money for records, don't buy the bootleg one. Save up. Save a couple paychecks. Buy the real one, you know?
Now, here's my question for you. Since you have all original stuff, what is your sound system like to listen to those vinyls?
Garbage. I'm deaf in one ear, so.
Wait a minute. So what? Wait. So what's the point of listening to the real analog deal? Because the thing that I would say is probably the worst thing about the bootlegs is the fact that you're probably getting a vinyl of a CD of a 44.1 kilohertz, CD piece of shit. Like if you're going to listen to the vinyl, you need good speakers, you need a good needle so that you can, really listen to the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Taryn always gives me stuff about my musical setup over here, but I never once said I collect the stuff to listen to it. I do listen to it,
right?
I think a lot of people, I think like to kind of fool themselves by saying, "Yeah, I spent $3,000 on a record because I like how it sounds." So that's what they could tell their wife, But I don't need to tell anybody. I can just buy it. I don't need to justify it.
Yeah, very true.
A lot of people I know also don't play the records because they're $3,000, but.
Right.
There's a
By
lot
the way,
of...
if you're just joining us, on Facebook, we cannot see your comments. Please join in the chat on YouTube. Come over to YouTube, guys. We don't need you on Facebook. That's just to let you know that we're live. Hey. Yeah, dude, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense.
I think there was a time where bootlegs made sense, but I think now it's just something of the past. It's kind of just they should just stayed
Well,
back in the 80s and the 90s, I think.
well, but that's the other thing is that whether they're in the past or not, people want them. And ultimately what people want is like isn't that like capitalism in its rawest form?
Yeah.
If people want the thing, they're going to want the thing. And if there's a want, then there's a need. If there's a need, someone's going to fill that need no matter what. And so if that need is going to be filled, it might as well be filled by, say, Glenn Danzig repressing Samhain vinyl instead of, allowing, I mean, again, the entire catalog is just sitting collecting cobwebs, and, it shouldn't.
Well, in another thing is, I think a lot of these new guys who are green, who buy the Initium bootleg for $20 at the record store, they're just, this is going to sound super insulting, so sorry everyone, but you're just being lazy, all right? Initium was repressed a bunch. You don't want to spend the $2,000 on the red vinyl one? That makes sense. Go buy the fourth press with the whatever you saw on Fiend Collectors for $85, all right? There's a will and a way. It's just how much effort you want to put in.
Question. How much is the first press black Initium going for now?
I don't know. I think I have one. I do have one. I have no idea. I think I paid $175 for mine a couple of years ago. So
okay,
I could.
So it's not at like red prices or anything.
No. It's a good piece of vinyl. You got something there.
Oh, I love it. I friggin' love it. Eric brings up an interesting counterpoint to what you're saying. And again, Eric is coming from a 90s perspective. He's saying, respectfully, have to disagree. I started collecting bootlegs in the early 90s before there was any legit copies available. It was a great way to finally be able to hear the tracks that I never heard. And, I can't disagree with that. I think, again, pre-1995, if you want to hear, we talked about this with Greg Fasolino. It was an interesting discovery, but the point of view of if you lived in that time, if you wanted to hear Last Caress, you either needed to have a Beware or you needed to have a bootleg of some kind in order to hear Last Caress. It was the only way. So
there's 3,000 of these out there in the wild, man. You could have found a Beware.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I get what that guy's saying, Eric. I missed the name.
Yeah,
I think his name was Eric. Eric, I get what he's saying. It makes total sense, but that's kind of why I said that now it doesn't make sense. All these guys buying bootlegs now.
It doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, in the 90s, I'll give you that. You didn't have all the resources. I wouldn't have survived in the 90s. I can't go down the street without Google Maps. So obviously you're looking for, you just wanted to hear the band. So of course you're going to buy a bootleg. It doesn't matter how you hear it. You just want to hear it. That makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And, again, it's just like, it's just kind of like mind-boggling to think that like there was no way, like the only way to get a hold, like for instance, there was like, I don't know, it was about 25 years where the only way you could watch Why Be Something You're Not was on a VHS or a DVD of the VHS. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no way to to see the Misfits live if you weren't around back then. You'd have to rely on some VHS tape.
I just got these in. I got these in today. I think you guys probably saw them on Facebook, but here's Glenn with the Why Be Something You're Not host.
Yeah. Oh my God. That guy is on Facebook. I really want to talk to him.
He's a great guy.
That's from the same, that was from that show? That one with no, not that one, the other one. Yeah, that was from Why Be Something You're Not. Oh. Huh.
But Mark's a great guy. I'm kind of a little jaded with him because 4 years ago I said, "Hey, Mark, you should dig out your photos." And he goes, "I don't have any. I lost them all." And then look at that. Now I got two of them sitting in my hands here.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something else. And this is something that I have done research on and off. There are some holy grails. Like everybody knows about the Manny tapes. Everybody knows there's like a lot of stuff out there. People know about Irving Plaza 1979 and yada, yada, yada. We all know, we know about the Skulls video. There are some other recordings that, I mean, and they are in safekeeping. They are intact. I don't know how to get to them, but they are intact. they're from an incredible time, and they're audio, and they're full set shows, they're live shows, and it is the Static Age band, the full Static Age band, with Franche Coma, Mr. Jim, Glenn, and Jerry. And I don't know. I've inquired several times. There's a way to crack that nut. But it blew my mind when I did a super deep dive one day, and I discovered, and again, you know, you discover something and you just go, all right, just keep it. You don't, because here's the other thing too. If everybody knows, then everybody tries to blow up the same spot. If everybody overwhelms the same spot, the overwhelmed spot then is like, whoa, I don't want to fuck around with this, and just like puts things on a bent. It's like you gotta sort of, one person needs to go in there, do the fucking thing, and then pull it back out. That's how it works, man. You can't just fucking line up at the door. It just doesn't work that way.
I agree.
So yeah, but that's interesting. There's a lot, you know, for everything that you think you've seen. Like Devilman posted those Tish and Snooki photos, and that blew my mind. You enlightened me. I didn't know that they did that. Not only did they cover Monster Mash, but that Tish and Snooki joined them for the song. Like, I had no idea.
Which, this is where it goes back to me. I know I'm young, but I feel old. Devilman, early on when he was doing the Seventh House Instagram for the first time, I love Devilman. He's one of my best friends. I think he's a great guy. He sent me one of those photos and he said, will you post this on your page, yours and Joe's page, so I can get some advertisements, say it came from me. So through that, we asked Bobby about it, and then I love Snooki and Tish. I think I said the story about seeing them at MSG, and I was just staring at them like, oh, they're royalty.
They are royalty. I've seen them live many times with their band, the Sick Fucks. Yeah. And I used to help out this guy, Peter Crowley, who was the
Maxis.
From Maxis Kansas City. That's how, you know, and so I saw a whole bunch of cool stuff, and I helped, Tish and Snooki, they always played the Sick Fucks, but I didn't know, at that time, I didn't know that they opened that show, and I didn't know that they had jumped on stage with the Misfits. I could have interviewed them so many times, and I just didn't know to interview them, and I would feel so stupid. And I mean, they're out there, but I'd love to talk to them about that night. You know who else is a big get I want to get? Screaming Mad George, who lives in Japan.
From the Mad? Really?
Yeah, from the Mad, dude. But he's not, he's also like done special effects for movies and stuff. He's an amazing dude.
I got a couple buddies in Japan. If I can pull some strings. I got some guys in Japan.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Let's bring Joe on, man. He's freaking poor guy. Bring it. So this guy Joe, he's an enthusiastic young lad like Tanner here, who's super enthusiastic and loves all this shit. And he's always like posting in groups and promoting stuff. And he's just a nice guy. And he's also the drummer. He's the latest drummer for the Undead. I wonder, I'm going to test Joe right now. I'm going to give Joe a test. We're going to see how much of an Undead fan Joe truly is. Joe is a big fan of the band that he drums for. He loves the Undead. And let's get him in. Let's get Joe in. Joe.
Oh,
Joe, come in.
I hope I sent him the text message. I'm not sure.
Joe!
I'm going vertical.
Whoa, look at that. There he is. He just came out of nowhere. Hey!
Oh, he's up.
What's up? I was
just texting.
I can't see Tanner at all, but I can see you, Joe. So, there we go. There
he is.
What's up? So I had to add in. We're talking about collections and stuff, and I'm in no way at all like anywhere close to Tanner's collection and stuff. But I have I have a lot of stuff that's very sentimental with me. So do you mind if I show some of those? It's nothing huge, but
let's see.
So Joe's got the coolest shit.
Yeah. The first thing I'm going to show is these. These are the last sticks Joey Image played with at the last time he ever played on stage live. And the way I got these was, of course,
with Bobby.
Yeah. So, and I mean, people probably know because I post like an idiot on Facebook, but I played drums in the Undead with Bobby, and we did 2 benefit shows for Joey. And the first one was in Brooklyn. The second one was in Pennsylvania. So at the New York show, Joey came down because our bass player at the time, Johnny, was really, really, really good friends with Joey and knew him like 20, 30 years before he even joined the Undead and stuff. So, Joey goes up. It's an honor. It was an honor for him to be there and to meet him. I got my stuff signed, thankfully. It's unfortunate he passed. It's really upsetting that he's gone. But so yeah, Joey plays on stage, and I guess him and Johnny must have been bullshitting by the bar while I'm like, talking to friends and such. And he just comes up behind me, taps me on the shoulder. And then I have Bobby on my right, and Joey's coming up to me on my left. He goes, "Here, just have these." And it was the sticks that he used on stage the last time he ever played live. And he played Night of Living Dead and Hard Business that night. It was really cool seeing half of my personal favorite Misfits lineup reunite.
Aw,
The second thing I have, I remember getting this in Tanner's face when I got it. I was just like, "Oh my God!" He screamed in my face. MSG.
He's the loud one.
MSG, in my opinion, was the peak of the reunion shows. Like Philadelphia, all the shows were great, but MSG was the
100%. Could not agree
the
more.
best one.
Could not
So
agree
the
more.
last song, I believe the last song that set that night was "We Are 138." I could be wrong, but
I don't remember
the
what
last,
it was, but it was great.
the last,
Whatever it was,
yeah,
it was
last-
great.
Yeah, the last thing that Jerry did was break this bass over his knee and threw it out. Yeah. So I love the Crimson Ghost pickups on the bass too. But yeah, the last thing he did, this is the last bass he threw out before he did his final, power slide and walked off the stage.
Dude, you could stake a vampire with that.
Yeah.
All right, wait. Quick story.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's my quick story. Riot Fest Chicago 2016. He throws up the bass at the end. I didn't see this. My friends saw this. Eyewitness account. I did not see this. 9 guys, something like 9 guys are all holding onto that bass, trying to.
Can I tie that in with you? Tanner knows
Yeah,
the
go
story.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was front row center at Riot Fest.
Yeah.
I caught the bass when he threw it originally, but
Yeah.
the fucking security guard in front of me ripped it out of my hands because he saw 9 people were converging onto this one bass. So I got screwed out having the Riot Fest bass, but I got the MSG one, which I prefer.
Wait, so can you confirm what my friend was saying though? If you were right there, that's what happened, right?
Yep, like 9, 10 people just converged. Even with this bass, I fought like about 5 people jumped
like
to grab
dogs
it.
on a bone, like
Yeah,
dogs
exactly.
on a fucking bone.
Somehow
that is
I
so
got
cool. Dude, good for you.
Those are
Dude,
really
that is
fun.
so awesome, man. That's phenomenal. Let me see it again. Show us again.
Yeah, it's so cool because me and Tanner have really good friends named DJ and Nico, and they're like they're front row with us all the time and stuff. And I just remember just walking up and like, because they got, I believe, then Nico got a bass too, right, Tanner?
Yeah.
By them at the end of the show.
Because
me and Tanner were the guy. Go first.
They got one too, and then little Jerry got the headstock.
Yeah. You want to see the back?
Doesn't little Jerry can get whatever he wants at any time? I mean, come on.
Well, let me finish. So Nico got one too, and and so he walks up and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey," at the same time. And the cool thing about it, well, one of the coolest things is this tape is glow in the dark. So when I first came home that night, I put it up against like the wall and it was glow. I'm like, wow, it's so cool. I got 2 more things. One thing.
Wait. Putting a pin. Yeah. Hold on. 1 second. Wait,
go ahead.
1 second.
Go ahead.
Question number 1. Theoretically, because you have most of that bass, you could reconstruct the bass in some way, shape, or form.
I could, but I don't want to because I don't want to because I have the mental image of Jerry there in front of me, breaking it over his knee and then throwing it out.
Okay, it's like, dude, it's like a sword from fucking Lord of the Rings or some shit. Wait. One other thing. You should make a necklace and just walk around like a fucking G with that friggin'
like that clip of Iggy Pop playing with Damien with the freaking broccoli necklace.
Yes.
With Jerry
mask on the Letterman show.
Yeah. So all right. So this next thing, again, I'm kind of biased with this because I'm playing this fucking band, but this means a lot to me. I know some people may be like, whatever. It's all right. I don't care. People care. People like what they like. I'm not going to get too much into the whole thing, but Tanner gave this to me, and one thing about Tanner he will never admit is that he's very generous, and out of nowhere he'll give you. Yeah, you are. Stop. Out of nowhere, he would just give you this really rare thing. And this thing to me means a lot. So this is the Undead's 9 Toes Later, but I'm trying to go without the glare.
Nice.
It's signed.
Stiff Records.
Yeah, and on Stiff, I'll get into that later. So it's signed by Bobby. These are all period signatures. It's Bobby's 1982 signature, also by Nats, and also by Patrick Blank, who unfortunately passed away about 20, 30 years ago. So yeah, and these two went on form a great hardcore band called Virus on Rat Cage Records. If no one's heard that, but check that record out. But yeah, this is one, like, even before I was in the band, this is one of my favorite, like, first wave New York hardcore punk records, along with, you know, Heart Attack, God Is Dead, and Nihilistic 7-inch, and the Abuse 7-inch, and the Crowd, Kill for Cash, and Unemployment, and, Agnostic Front, United Blood, all those records. So yeah, Tanner gave this to me, and I will always be in debt. And the last thing's stupid. It's not a serious collecting thing. Tanner was going through his stuff for the show. I got kind of sentimental with it.
Aww.
So I opened my box and started going into it. And he found his, so I had to find mine. It's a fucking Yonder pouch from Newark.
Yo, wait.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have mine too.
Yeah. And the thing,
yo, I saved that shit. I ripped my phone out the moment. The moment that they made me put my phone in that pouch in fucking New Jersey, I was like, fuck this shit. And I ripped it open. I was like, I'm keeping that pouch. This ticket was expensive. I need a souvenir.
I want to answer a question in the chat. Sydney Sickness. Yes, the undead version of 12 Hits is on Spotify and iTunes if anybody wants to hear it.
Yeah, but, originally that was on MySpace for many years. I remember when he dropped it in 2007, and for some reason he could never actually. By the way, Tanner, I don't want to put you on blast, but your gum chewing, you got to chew with that. Yeah. So sorry, buddy. I appreciate you. I'm sorry about that. I was muting your mic, and I didn't want to mute you in case you said anything. So I
sorry. My fault.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's cool. He, for some reason, he could not put out 12 Hits from Hell for years. Like, he released it for free on MySpace, along with Delta Dungeon, which is why I asked him when I came to his house, his mom's house. I was like, dude, you got to play Delta Dungeon on video for me. He has a recording of Delta Dungeon somewhere. I don't know what happened to it.
No, he probably doesn't have it anymore.
He doesn't have it anymore. Now, but question, why, how did 12 Hits from Hell finally get released on Spotify? It's awesome. I'm glad it happened.
Well, he had it on his computer. And I'm like, hey, Bobby, do you have, this is like 2017. I'm like, hey, do you have that? They went, yeah. I'm like, oh, can you burn a CD for me? They go, oh, yeah. Well, he said, sure. He did it. I made myself a copy. Well, I got myself a copy from him, and I made a copy for Tanner. And me and Tanner were like the first people to hear him, like hear it again at least. Yeah.
Oh man! As soon as that dropped on MySpace, we all had it. We've had it. We had that thing like he thought that by putting it on MySpace that nobody would get it. That thing was on Misfits Central in 2 seconds. It was insane.
Yeah.
I don't, and I was like, whoa, that's magic. How did they hack the MySpace player? I was like, whoa, they took it out of there somehow. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think he just had the masters and he just uploaded them.
I'm so glad. Coming up. I'm so glad. So, so more stuff is coming out on Spotify?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, to answer Junk Food Kid, yes, I have. I'm not going to get into details about it.
What, Dear Joe, have you ever saw Bobby's bare foot because he has 9 toes later? You got that thing.
Yeah.
That is a great.
Everyone needs to buy this record.
That is the great vinyl. That Undead Summer record you guys did is great. Love it. I think it's phenomenal. Truly. That's the thing. People don't give Bobby a lot of credit for. He put out some solid 7 inches, man. Like he did the I Made a Monster. He did I Want You Dead. I remember when those out of curiosity, do those go for anything now? Are they like kind of rare?
Yeah,
pretty common?
So I Want You Dead. Last I saw was about like $40-$50. And they're just, you know what it is? They're not super expensive. They're just really hard to come by. And some guy had on eBay. Some guy had all the colors on eBay for like a stupid amount of money. I'm like, you're ridiculous for putting that up. But
wow.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think the best 2 things Bobby ever put out, the Undead, is the I Want You Dead demo, which actually, it's funny because Glenn's nephew, Keith, about a year ago, found Glenn's actual cassette demo of the Undead demo that he got from Bobby when they played A7. And he had that. And I kind of want it. Yeah, I kind of want that.
Wow. Yeah. So for those of you who are not aware, before, when Bobby was ousted or left or however you want to call it, when he was when he parted ways with the Misfits, him and Glenn kept up with each other, and Glenn was going to put Bobby out on Plan 9.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up. Yeah, so this cover art is actually designed by it's Glenn. Glenn did that cover art. And
get out of here! I did not know that.
Yeah, and it was supposed to come out on Plan 9, but the infamous thing happened where they had a falling out for whatever stupid reason. So so the whole thing was that Bobby and Nats and Patrick harassed Stiff Records, who Stiff Records put out the Go-Go's, the original version, We Got a Beat, and they put out the New Rose single and Motor. They put a bunch of bands out, and so they harassed them at their offices. They used to crash their parties and spray paint "I Want You Dead" on the walls at the parties, and then leave. So that they drew attention. Case in point, they eventually got signed to Stiff Records, and then right after Stiff Records went out of business. So.
Yeah, Stiff Records. Yeah, did you just say they did the Damned, right? They did the Damned.
Yeah, they did Damned. They did the Go-Go's. They did the Motorhead. They did a lot of bands.
Yeah, one of the guys who worked for Stiff Records was I used to work at a synagogue, and he was one of the congregants was a guy from Stiff Records. It was pretty crazy, and he came in and was like, I forgot how that came up in conversation, but I was like, dude, kind of blew my mind.
And Jay May, the England guy, saying the Misfits were lazy. Yeah, so that was Tim Summer. He used to have a show called Noise the Show, and it was like a big station to listen to hardcore and punk rock back in the early 80s. And he used to write articles for this magazine in England called Sounds. And so he was, he's really good friends with Bobby and Nats and Patrick, and he was really good friends with Jerry.
He threw the
Glenn.
gasoline on the fire.
Yeah, and the thing about there's several discussions about it, but people got to realize too that at the time the Undead was a vital part of the New York hardcore scene. They would play A7, they would play the CBGB's matinees, they would hang out at 171A. Where the Misfits at that time, that's why Glenn put out the Who Killed Marilyn. Because the Misfits, from 80 to 81, they were kind of taking a break. It wasn't until late 81, early 82 that the Misfits went full back into swing and started going on the road again and such. So that's why Tim Summers said that, because the Undead was just they were first breaking. But that
definitely did not sit well with Glenn. And I don't know, it's funny. I interviewed Tim for my documentary many years ago. I never asked him what the nature of his actually I just answered my own question. He introduced the very next year he introduced the Misfits for Halloween, so I guess it did not affect his relationship with the Misfits, because he had them on the show again. So Bobby goes because Bobby did that show. Well, he did that show, the Drew Stones and New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. It's actually I haven't finished it, man. I haven't finished it yet. I am about halfway through.
He goes really into the Misfits and stuff, and it's not like stupid questions. It goes really into it. So he went on there and said that it was like Michael Alago who booked that, because Alago used to book the Ritz. So it's more of Alago didn't. Well, the thing about I guess people really didn't realize that the Misfits and the Undead were having a beef at that specific time. The way Bobby's told me, he just said it was really out of nowhere. Which, I mean, I get why Glenn got upset. He
thought it was fun. Upset. Bobby thought it was a fun thing. He didn't think it was a serious situation.
And there's a great story he actually said at the show the other day, where he at the show, because he thought the Misfits were joking, and they weren't. Yes. They seriously fucking hated him. They wanted to kill him. And the Doyle, because they were throwing beers and stuff.
Yep.
And Doyle throws a full beer can from the stage.
Sure did.
And hit Bobby right center, and Bobby went flying back. But
now this is actually the next part of that story is on tape. And it's on Umatic tape, and I believe the tape is now lost to time.
Yeah, the only
song there. Recording of Bobby gets pulled into the back room. He's lying flat on a table, and he's convinced everybody that he's paralyzed, and he's not actually paralyzed, but he's playing a joke. His mom and dad are in the room, and he's winking at them, and they know what's up. That's how Bobby tells the story. Bobby's really good at telling.
Yeah. I've never asked him about that, because the only thing of those tapes that exist anymore is I Want You, which was on the One Undead comp. I forget which one, but it was on there.
Well, I don't know if the show was. I don't believe the show was recorded, but the backs, like the behind the scenes of what was going on. I guess it was upstairs. Was at all of that was on U-matic tape, and I believe it's now lost to time forever. We will never see that tape. For those who don't know, U-matic tape is like a thicker version of VHS tape. It's like a proto VHS tape. It's not the exact size of VHS tape, and that tape is gone. But
I just want to answer Robbie's questions. No, he is not.
Sure.
I try not to bring that period up.
Bobby ever tell Joe the story where Doyle gave him his Annihilator a chiller for his wedding, and then George spilled her beer all over it?
No, I don't really ask him about that period of his life.
I was there. I was in that room. Robbie was in that room. Robbie saw things from a different angle than I saw. You know, it's funny. There's a photo of Chud, Doyle, and Michael Graves, like all frowning at the camera. And I was standing right off at the side. I saw them take that photo. And it's amazing how that was like I guess that was like that day was kind of a pretty big deal because you had so many of those guys all in the same place. Everybody was there. Like they were all in this room together. They didn't want to necessarily be in the room together, but they were in that room together. I think Robbie made mention that I think Erie Vaughn lit up a cigarette and Bobby was not happy. If Bobby doesn't like smoke or doesn't like the smoke.
Well, I think he has respiratory problems. That's why he gets it's weird, man. Like I never see anybody have it. Like if you like light up a cigarette series next to him, like he like completely loses his voice. It's strange. But
that's a lot of singers, man. A lot of singers have that issue, and they're like, do not smoke around me because it will fuck with my voice. I think Glenn is like that too.
Yeah,
could be.
I've heard mutual friends have said he hates cigarette smoke. But to answer Ballad of the Broken, he's confusing two stories. So yeah, Doyle was getting hit, so they were just throwing stuff back at Bobby. The head over the guitar, that was San Francisco. That was they were harassing
the legendary San Fran incident.
Yeah, and then Doyle smashed the guitar over the kid's head, and I think Glenn said in an interview that was Bobby hired cronies or something like that. I remember reading on Central
that's bullshit, man. Bobby didn't hire.
I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to comment on that. But
in one of my interviews, I forget. I asked Bobby about it, and he was like, he had heard about it. I mean, it was a big. Listen, it definitely spread. It spread around. Around. So Joe, do you first of all, what's up with the Undead right now? Is like the Undead doing? You guys making like getting ready to make some moves? Like you guys re-recorded an album, right? Like a new album is coming out.
Yeah. So right now we're taking a bit of a break. Bobby said on the show the other day, his wife has cancer, so we were kind of playing. Yeah, we're playing it safe with that. She's doing really good though. Like it's pretty much gone. She's just like there's making sure things are okay. And then
100%.
And he has a newborn granddaughter. So he's like Grandpa Steele. Yeah, it's Grandpa Steele. So he's been
wonderful.
He's a great. I've only been there a couple of times since she's been born, but he's a great grandfather from what I've seen. But
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, and so the Act Your Rage re-recording that's. So a couple of years ago, 2019, I brought up the fact that it was the 30th anniversary of Your Rage. So we started doing it live, front to back in the set for like the 30th anniversary, and then Bobby came up with the idea that I said we should re-record it because Bobby's always talking about how he never really got the right sound he wanted. Like that record is very rushed because he did in recording school and stuff. And a lot of the parts he was intending to do never came to fruition. He couldn't polish it in time. So I'm like, he was talking about the fact that you're not really happy with the way it sounds. How about we re-record it? So then he came up with the fact that bring on like special guests and stuff. So we have like people. I think I'm on like 6 or 7 tracks. I think I'm not really sure because he always handles production stuff. But there's guests like Greg Hetson's on it from the Circuit Jerks and Bad Religion.
Cool.
Who else is on? There's a lot of people, but I'm drawing a blank right now.
He used to record.
Yeah.
He used to record up in his attic. Was Postmortem Records.
Mm-hmm. But Alex Story's on 2 or 3 tracks. He's singing lead.
Nice.
Argyle Goolsby's playing bass on a couple songs. Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, friggin' Des Cadena is playing guitar.
Yeah, Des. Nice.
Uncle Des is
Uncle
playing.
Des.
I'm trying to think who else. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm drawing a blank, but there's a lot of people.
Yeah, you got chock full of guys
Mm-hmm.
in the situation.
There's one more person on right now that I'm. Steve Garvey from the Buzzcocks is playing bass. That
is
didn't-
fucking awesome.
Yeah, I never knew
playing
that.
bass.
I
Yeah.
friggin' love the Buzzcocks. I'm so glad that I saw them at Irving Plaza. No, at the Ritz. No, not at the Ritz. At Webster Hall, 2017. It was the last time that they
Pete
played
Shelley was
New
alive?
York while Peter Shelley was alive, and it was unbelievable. I'm so glad I got to see it at least once.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was majestic, man. When they played Why
Mhm.
Can't I Touch It, and everybody's like goes from just like losing their minds to like gently bouncing in the crowd. They played every song I wanted to hear except for Lipstick. I wanted to hear Lipstick. They did not play Lipstick. If
Can I ask you a
anybody is
question?
not familiar with the Buzzcocks, you got to listen to Singles Going Steady.
Oh yeah,
That is
One of the great-
right.
one of the
That's
great-
the way.
one of the greatest English punk bands of all time.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
far. I'm trying to see questions. I think I saw Robbie asked the doctor. I'm assuming Chud. No, we're moving on.
The who?
Yes,
The
is the
doctor?
doctor? Yeah, I'm assuming he's saying Chud. No, we're moving on. When's the album
Yuck.
coming out? Sometime. Yeah, sometime soon. What Sloppy Seconds record did Bobby play on? He played on the Where Eagles Dare 7-inch. Yeah, and so I also saw.
Whoa. I totally forgot. Now I remember. All right, here's
Yeah.
you're like the world's biggest Undead fan, right? Okay.
And Misfits.
Okay, ready? Here
Mhm.
is your challenge. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm issuing you a challenge. In chronological order, recite every single Undead lineup from
I can't do that.
1981 to now. Go.
I can't do that. There's been over 30 friggin' drummers and bass players individually. I'll say this though, my absolute favorite was the original three, because I'm a big fan of the 80 to 83 era.
That was a little anticlimactic. I'm gonna respect your answer, but it was very anticlimactic, and I wish you would have attempted it. But okay.
Oh yeah,
fine.
I just don't want to bring up. People think I'm trying to diss Chud. No, I know there's some tension there, so I'm not trying to stir up any drama.
I'd like to diss Chud personally.
All right, no, we're not going there.
Chud.
We're not going there. I know there's beef between you guys. We're not going there. Someone asked before, how did I get in the band? It's easy. Me and Tanner were Misfits geeks, and he actually convinced me to start a Facebook, and so I joined Facebook, and the first person, one of the first people I friended that accepted my request was Bobby. I saw he posted that he's looking for a drummer. And so I'm like, and I messaged, and I'm like, bro, Bobby's asking, that's for a drummer for the Undead. So on Face page, which was John Brandon from Negative Approach calls it, Face page, which I love, I find hilarious. So on Face page, I messaged them, I set up an audition, and what was really noticeable to me was that instead of saying, you're in the band, they just went, when can you come play again? And I'm like, that blew my mind, because I was like, maybe like they like me. And from then on in, I've been in the band.
Like me. They really like me. That's awesome, dude. I'm stoked for you, man. Congratulations, truly. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Do you guys know anything about that Undead lineup that's listening to Misfits Central? As Bobby Steele, drum machine, bass machine. That was just him. I think I'm not sure. I'm just taking a guess.
He didn't have a band. It was 1992. Yeah. He didn't have a band, and he wanted to play some shows.
Exactly. I also think he was frustrated at the point, because I remember a couple of the members around them. I'm not exactly sure, but he had like a bad run of Pleapo Point. Like there were a lot of drama. Like they were a lot of trouble. No, Eddie. No, nothing with Eddie or Tim. It was after them.
Oh, gotcha. You know, I got to tell you,
Yeah.
I am a big fan. I know that sounds kind of silly, like, oh, it's just him with a bass and drum machine. There is a crop of, I guess you would call it this is punk rock today. This is like a thing right now where you like pre-program everything and then you just sort of sing over it. It's actually really fucking cool. Like there's a lot of, like, for instance, a band of now disgraced and leaves a gaping hole in my heart, No Bunny, who they do a drum machine. He had a drum machine on some tracks and it was pretty bad, man. Like when I say bad, I mean good. Not like, you know, it's funny. I actually, you know who I think does a really bad job with the drum machine on Final Descent is Glenn. Does not, like, the drum machine does not go with the Final Descent tracks. And if you watch, for my Patreons already know, they've seen it on my thing. I did a Final Descent reaction video and just doesn't work. A little bit.
The videos I have seen of him playing drums to the Undead have been awesome. Good solid drum coming from drummer. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
You do a great job.
Thank you.
You do a great job,
really
Joe.
Appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, man. Thank you.
So what holds the future? You guys got everything on hold. Diana's health comes first, of course.
Yeah.
Do you guys see yourself? Because I know that there's immunocompromised situation. So it's like, do you see yourself like going out and playing shows? Like, really hang back and just watch and see how things unravel.
Oh, we're definitely gonna go out and play shows, but just not in the current future. Like it'd be like when things are getting back to normal, thankfully. There's shows coming up. I know that, like, for example, this Saturday, Nihilistics and Reagan Youth in Tompkins Square Park. I'll be at that. But
wow.
Yeah, but we're gonna play shows and stuff. It's just in time, the time being, it's holding off for a little bit. But yeah, we will.
Cool, man. That's really, really great. Do you do anything else? Like, first of all, you had been playing drums before you were in the Undead?
Yeah.
So are you in any other do you do anything else besides the Undead? Any other bands you're involved with?
I mean, I jam with people, but it's not like serious. I mean, I do a lot of demos for myself.
Cool.
I write.
You play
for
other
the
instruments?
Undead. Yeah, I play guitar, bass, and a little bit of keyboard.
So you're like a Bill Stevenson.
Yeah, I guess.
That's cool.
But,
no, it's awesome. That's what Bill Stevenson does.
I do a lot. Yeah, I do a lot of demos for the during COVID-19.
Joe, show them the song.
Songs. You're gonna pitch some stuff.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I already sent music. They told me they liked it. I just suck at writing lyrics.
I'll tell you one thing. Well, you got to give that to Dave Street. Have Dave Street write your lyrics.
Honestly, I was thinking about asking him. I actually seriously was thinking about asking Dave.
You really should. And Dave, let me tell you something. Dave could most certainly use the distraction right now. By the way, for those of you unaware, Dave is on the mend, people. He's on the mend. Knock on wood. I hope it continues to improve, and a far cry from what I saw. I visited him in the hospital, and he really came back from the brink. So I'm so stoked for him, and I'm gonna go down and see him hopefully sooner than later. So
what does it feel like when you cover Misfits songs with Bobby? It's pretty cool because you don't really see the way. There's not a lot of video. I mean, you can hear the recordings, but there's not a lot of videos of the way he plays. So like seeing it right there in front of me where we're practicing in a smaller practice space, it's pretty cool seeing how being front row watching Doyle murder the guitar compared to seeing Bobby kind of have like a twangy kind of sound. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. All right, let me ask you, how about this, guys? And I think we're gonna have to wind it down because
it's damn late.
I got some fish to fry. But first of all, I want to say thank you to Tanner for coming on, spending some time, showing us some really cool shit. That's awesome. And I want to thank Joe again for jumping in here and spitting some knowledge for us and blowing my mind. I didn't know that Glenn Danzig did the layout for Nine Toes Later. That's crazy. It's awesome. I mean, he did layouts for Morning Noise and for the Undead. How about that? It's kind of a shame that Glenn did not expand. He should have had Active Ingredients, Morning Noise, Rosemary's Babies, and the Undead all could have been on Plan 9 Records. He would have had, it would have fully been like what is it? Discord? No, not Discord.
Discord. Yeah. William McCay.
Discord,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Alternative Tentacles or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Slash, you know, it could have been its own, like, it would have been the East Coast answer to Touch and Go Records and all those different labels that were SST, you know, because all those labels put out tons of bands. Plan 9 only put out the Victims and the Misfits. So it's like, it's kind of a shame that he did not like rope all those other guys in and put more stuff out, especially when he had a hand in layouts and this and that and yada yada yada. But let's end it like this. I'm gonna have each one of you go over your top 5 Misfits, Samhain, and Danzig songs at this moment, because it may not be. Listen, I can't pick. I mean, I like different things at different times. My mood changes. For me, there's no such thing as a bad Misfits song, right? Like, I love them all.
I'm the same way. I have
4 of those bastards.
It always my favorite song always changes too. Like it's always in the top 5, but always like it's between 2 songs. Can we do it for each? Because it's really hard.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, you're gonna do it for each. Before you go, do 5 Misfits, 5 Samhain, and 5 Danzig, and because we'll do 5 Undead too, since we have Joe here and he's the drummer for the Undead. Okay. Sure. All right. Who wants to go first?
Tanner, you go first. I'm still thinking about it.
I want everyone to know that Joe, at least once a week, texts me a list of like 30 songs. He's like, put these in order, how you like them. So he's got this. He's gonna win this one already. But if we're gonna,
it's not a contest, Tanner. It's not a contest.
No. I'm gonna. I mean, in the sense of actually knowing what he's talking about, I got to think about this. If we're going,
do you want me to fill the dead air for a little bit while you guys think about it? Here, let's go to some comments. We'll go to some comments for a few minutes, and you guys think about it, okay? And then we'll go back. Let's see. By the way, I just want to. Sorry, go ahead.
Not to cut you short, I'm at 9% battery, so I'm just going to run this through.
Oh shit! All right. So let's do it. All
right. So Undead, the top Undead song for me has got to be "I Want You Dead." That's a classic one. That song is really sentimental to me because I also want everyone dead. "Evening of Desire," a classic. I like their cover of "Eve of Destruction" a lot. I think that's great. I love that. "Put Your Clothes Back On," because a lot of people should have put their clothes back on. And and "The Mother Chick." And Joe isn't. I remember he said that's not a good song on the record, but I really like "Righteous Light" for some reason. I just think it's a great song off "The More the Merrier." I think they should play that one.
I'll put it this way: it's not my favorite on that. I don't mind that song, but it's not my favorite on the record. Keep going though.
That's 5 right there. I love the Undead. I like him because the drummer's pretty cool, and the rest of the guys are pretty cool. That's who I guess.
It's a schmuck.
But so Undead's cool.
I love your bromance. It's so sweet.
I just want to add, I've never had an argument with him ever. He's one of the few people I've never had an argument with. But keep going.
Yeah, I love Joe. I said he's my heterosexual life mate. Can't go anywhere without him.
The heterosexual life mate.
Would you like to be making fuck berserk?
Joe, do you have your card on you?
I don't.
Misfits is every day it changes for me, obviously with everyone, but top song will always be Bullet because I think that's great. I love Glenn's conspiracies about the Kennedys because he's right. They're all schmucks too. I love Hybrid Moments. You can't beat Hybrid Moments. We Bite. I don't think We Bite gets enough love. I love that song. Death Comes Ripping and A Feline Nursery. You got to throw that one in there.
Oh, yeah, great. I love Feline Nursery.
It's a great song.
Fan. It's a great song. I agree. I fully agree.
Look at our little club. Aren't we special?
Ouch. Ooh.
Sorry, I just want to answer a question. When did Joe join the Undead? 2015. I remember Chris was at the Salem show. That was the drummer before me, filled in for those 2 days. Keep going.
Samhain. I like a lot of days. I was just saying this to Joe. A lot of days, I like Samhain more than the Misfits. You know, as you get older, you get grumpier, and I feel like I'm a grumpy Samhain guy these days.
That's what Samhain kind of is in a way.
Yeah, my favorite is "I Am Misery." That's great song's great. Love it. So dark and grim without having to be like, ooh, spooky skeletons. I love that song. Kiss of Steel.
Can we hold on? Can we just agree on one thing? I'm sorry to cut you off. I know you have like 8% battery. Can we just agree that Misery Tomb, it's like Glenn taking a shit and he's constipated and he's just going, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's a great song. But when you look at it like that, it makes it even better. Wards of the Left Hand. I don't think that gets enough love. I love that song. What's it called? Samhain, right? I get Samhain and Initiate mixed up. It's great. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should be a drummer. You kind of look like a drummer right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
And then dude, you can't not love Archangel. That's like the greatest song ever written.
It's good.
It's more than good, dude. It's ridiculous. I wish there was something more. I remember Al Pike telling me about that with like Dave Vaney and all that stuff. I love that. It's so great.
Dude, I need to talk to Al Pike too, man. That's another. I've talked to Paul Cripple, but I've never talked to Al Pike.
Al Pike is so accessible,
Paul Cripple
dude.
I know. I fucking know. You know, Sal was supposed to introduce me to him. I met Paul Cripple, but I don't think Paul and Al talk really. So, you know, God.
If you need to, I got Al's number. If you want to, I can set something up between you guys.
We'll talk, Tanner. We'll talk. So, all right, Archangel. Could you imagine Archangel? First of all, I think Archangel. I think maybe it was you or somebody else. Somebody on one of the shows we were talking. Archangel is a damn song, dude. Straight up.
Yeah.
Could be a damn song. Absolutely. Could you imagine the fucking Damned covering Archangel? And that makes sense because he friggin' wrote it for Dave Vanian to sing. I think that the Bones, the DNA, or I could even imagine like a new wave version of Archangel.
Yeah. I can see
Archangel.
Joe, you better record that tonight.
Oh my God, Joe, will you do that? Joe, will you do that? Joe,
he's a really good singer too. He has
Is he really?
He's a great singer. He did this cover of one of my favorite songs called Middle of the Road Cry Out by Stevie Lynn Winder, and everyone needs to hear it. It's Joe's cover of it.
Stevie Lynn. Hey, shout out to Steve Linder. Sun Come Up. For those of you who don't know, Sun Come Up.
All right, say your five Danzig songs.
Danzig.
Joe is chomping at the bit to get. He wants to shout his list out. Tanner, you're killing him right now.
Yeah, I'm doing it on purpose.
You made me sit for like 2 hours.
We've only been streaming for 2 hours. Danzig.
2 hours and 38 minutes.
Oh, it says 2 hours and 8 for me. That's my fault. Danzig. My top Danzig song is "Tired of Being Alive." That song was like the first Danzig I really heard. Love it.
Fuck yes. I love that song so much.
So good. It's ridiculously good.
So good.
One of the only things me and Tommy Victor agree on is that's also his favorite song. So, "Tired of Being Alive." "Coldest Sun" off I Luciferi is really good. I think a lot of those I Luciferi songs are really good if you just...
"Without Light I Am" is a fucking phenomenal
that was
song.
next on my list. I love that song.
I really think 6-7 and Circle of Snakes are so underrated.
Absolutely.
So good. There's only one record I really don't like that Glenn Danzig ever put out. That's 5. Black House the Devil.
You got it in your car though.
I do have it in my car. Like I really like the song Seventh House, but I mean it's not horrible. It's not the worst thing I've heard, but
I got a great story about the song Seventh House.
Hold on, Tanner, did you finish?
I got 2 more. Rebel Spirits off Death Red Sabios. I love that song.
Oh, yeah. I think you're talking about Black Aria. I was like,
no, that's Black Aria is one of my favorite records though. And if it counts, what's it called? You and Me. You know, like Glenn Danzig and the Power
Less
Trio.
than zero.
I will
Less
count
than
that.
zero.
That
Great
is-
song.
I love his
I
ballads.
will count that.
That's my favorite
Yeah.
stuff he does. Slow,
All right.
spooky.
I'm going because it's getting late. I want to hold people up.
He's going because he wants to do it.
Oh,
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah.
go,
I'm
go,
thirsty.
Joe.
I need more water.
Go, Joe.
So
Go, Joe.
all right, stop. So 5 undead songs. Let's see. I'm not gonna put them in order because I like when I make a top 5. I pretty much like every except from the number 1 spot. I like all the songs kind of equally.
The same way.
So easy. Life of Our Own. I Want You Dead. My Kind of Town. When the Evening Comes.
When the
and then
evening
fifth
comes,
spot-
best undead song ever. When the
Yeah.
evening comes, best
I would
ever.
I would really like to hear a version of the Misfits that Glenn actually didn't tell Bobby, no, I wrote the song. Because that was supposed to be in a Misfits song, and Glenn's just like, no, I just wrote all the songs.
Not only that, Joe, but I was just reviewing my Joey Image tape and my Bobby Steele tape. They used to rehearse When the Evening Comes in the garage or
I didn't know that.
in the pit. 100%. They had that song down, and when they showed it
Oh, really?
to Glenn, they played it for Glenn, and Glenn was like, "No, not going to happen." But there is the Misfits doing When the Evening Comes without Glenn.
Oh yeah, I remember that because Jerry's on bass too. Yeah, I remember Bobby telling me that Jerry actually like really liked that song. But all right, so the fifth one, I'll put Social Reason off New York Thrash. So for Misfits, this is really difficult. Top 5, not in order except for number 1. American Nightmare, without a doubt. It's one of the most underrated Misfits songs ever. I really wish they would do it live. So one of the few songs I want to hear. That's why, also, unrelated note, but Riot Fest 2022, finally get to hear Nike A Go-Go, Hate Breeders, and Brain Eaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally. It Devil's
It's a
Whorehouse.
guy fucking a missile.
Yeah.
That song is about a guy having sex with a missile.
Yeah. But, all right.
Pretty crazy.
So American Nightmare, Attitude, without a doubt. Probably Night of the Living Dead, the original like 79 single. I know you mentioned you don't believe that's not your favorite version, Jeff, but I love that like sound.
It has its charm. It has its charm.
Yeah. I Turn to a Martian easily, which is Bobby's favorite Misfit song, and Astro Zombies is without a doubt my favorite Misfit song.
Very cool.
Samhain, Black Dream, easily. Archangel, of course.
Yeah.
The song Samhain. That's 3. Human Pony Girl, and without a doubt my favorite Samhain song is Kiss of Steel. I love Kiss of Steel.
Human Pony Girl.
Yeah. I
That's a great track.
Dude, it's such a great track. By the way, do you guys agree? I think Kiss of Steel is kind of a reworked Die My Darling a little bit. Would you agree?
Kind of. It's more
like
speed
musically?
up. That's one of the few like Samhain songs that sounds like actually like hardcore to me. It's very fast. It has that that kind of beat.
All right, do Danzig
all right.
now.
Yeah, so Danzig. Twist of Cain.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Less Than Zero too, because I love that song. He sounds just like Elvis there. It's amazing.
I dig.
This is hard because I love a lot of Danzig.
Joe hates
Hard.
Danzig.
Brand New God. I don't hate Danzig. I love Danzig. So Danzig 3 days in a row. I'm sure people have seen it more.
Kill for Danzig.
Yeah. So Brand New God, and then the next 2, Do You Wear the Mark, and it's just hard. Shit. Snakes of Christ. Snakes of Christ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And listen, how could I let you guys go and then not go myself, even though I've done this once before? I have to go. Right now. So before I go, first, again, I want to thank my 2 guests. You guys were awesome. And I hope that if our paths cross in real life, we'll high five, get a slice of pizza, talk some music, have a good time. Also, please, if you like this content, if you're enjoying the show, guys, please, very important, subscribe to the channel more than anything. Like this video, leave a comment, check out the Patreon, all that stuff and more. You can find out more information on the Linktree link right below. Okay. All right. Super quick. Tanner's battery is going to die. I got to go. Ready? All right. Undead songs. Shit. I Want You Dead. When the Evening Comes. Put Your Clothes Back On in 84, for sure in 84. Shit. Fucking Be My Ghoul. Fuck yeah, Be My Ghoul. Okay, Danzig, ready? Motherfucking Sestinas. Friggin' Without Light I Am. Possession.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Possession's such a good song. What is that? 3?
That's 1.
3, right? Tired of Being
1.
Alive. Death Red Moon. How about that? Just right now. Samhain songs. Ready? Macabre. The Shift. The Hungry End. In My Grip. And Lords of the Left Hand, the second version. Even though I hate the lyrics. And then I think we lost Tanner. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Here's my Misfit songs. At number 1 at the top, Astro Zombies, Night of the Living Dead, Children in Heat, like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
What else? I'm gonna say Cough Cool, baby. Cough Cool. That song is really phenomenal. We don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
I got one more, right? I got one more song. And just to be like Tanner, West End Avenue. Just cause. No. Listen, again, I hope you guys love the show. You guys fucking rock. Thank you we have 45 people with us still after 2 hours and 47 minutes. 43 of them are on YouTube.
Thank you for everybody listening to me. Banter.
Yeah, dude, for real. Yeah. And Joe, again, wish you congratulations on all your successes with the Undead. And,
thank you.
I wish you even more success and subscribe. Oh, Tanner's back. Tanner, we just want to say, Tanner, did you hear the rest of my list?
No, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Fuck.
Where did you leave off?
Right when you started it, but I think I know what you're talking about. I'll watch the replay.
Yeah, just rewatch the episode, Tanner, because I'm really got to end this thing. But again, Tanner, thank you so much, and Tanner, congratulations to you on your collecting, and I think it's wonderful, and I hope you do something. Again, when you're really passionate about something, you should try and find a way to turn it into something where you can just go, where you can just fly in some way, shape, or form. And I think it's really wonderful that you're doing screen printing and stuff. And I hope something develops for you in that, if that's something that you want for yourself.
I got a record coming out. Buy my record.
Do you really have a record coming up?
I've been working on my own little project. We'll see it. Joe hasn't seen any of it yet either. Because
wait, really?
I don't trust. Joe's always too nice to me, so everything I do, he just says, "Yeah, that's good." So I can't show him.
I want to hear. What does it sound? What kind of music is it like?
You ever try to blend something and leave the fork in the blender?
Oh God, no! I'm a little scared. Ooh, TV casualty too. Yeah, but in general, all I'm saying is, if you're feeling passionate about something that you love doing, or if you like doing something and it feels fucking good, fucking do it. As long as you're not hurting, as Kevin Smith says, as long as you're not hurting anybody when you do it. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not hurting anybody, go fucking chase your dreams, fucking do your shit. And you guys are young, full of piss and vigor. Go do your shit. Awesome. Thank you again. We have a wonderful way of ending the show. We say peace and hair grease.